the books, can't escape from the team. Call the morning steam, it's time to break one for cover. That's gonna cover, that's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott, running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice, we might play a parlay. It's the morning steam. What? Ramon Scott, sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to the money. Get to the money. You know how we do it.
All right, a pleasant good morning to you coming from the sports betting capital of the world, Las Vegas. This is Ramon Scott, and welcome to the Morning Steam Show here for Saturday, January 10th. It's finally time. It's here. It's time for NFL playoff action today with our two matchups starting here this afternoon between the Rams and the Panthers, Packers and the Bears. We've got NFL ball here finally starting at 4:30 Eastern, 1:30 Pacific, followed by the night game on Amazon at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, and should be a great day for NFL action, but it's a great night for college football and for the Indiana Hoosiers last night with the victory over the Oregon Ducks. What a performance last night for the Hoosiers, really just total domination. Sure, Oregon went down and gave them a scare with that first answer there with that touchdown, but really was all Hoosiers. It feels like a team of destiny here right now. Indiana 56-22. They scored on that pick six on the first play of the game. They were +3 in turnovers, rushed for 185 yards in the game. 6 TDs, 6 different touchdown scorers as Miami got it done, or Indiana got it done. They'll move on to play Miami for the national title in Miami, strangely enough. There where we saw the line come out, and it is Indiana favored by 7.5, total 48. So, oh man, now Indiana's getting the respect, aren't they? Maybe too much respect for you guys out there. Miami's been terrific as well and has that good defense, and we'll see that matchup on Monday, January 19th, and we'll be with you here on the Sports Money Network for the national championship game in conjunction with Razor Sharp picks there next Monday, not this Monday, but next Monday. Got to give these guys time to get ready for the game, and it was an awesome time last night, and we did bring you the winner here on the Morning Steam with that over there with Oregon and Indiana there last night. Hope you enjoyed that one. We also brought you some other winners here yesterday in the NBA, and we might have found a winner or two in the NHL yesterday with that Mammoth prediction over the Blues on the puck line there yesterday. Also, if you guys just saw it, man, just moments ago, there's a reason why the FA Cup is the world's greatest soccer tournament. You're never going to have, Ivory Coast knock off Germany, but we just saw Macclesfield just moments ago with a huge win at the FA Cup, sixth division. Macclesfield with the win amazingly just moments ago over Crystal Palace at home, 2-1. Macclesfield, the 10-1 underdog, just won at the FA Cup third round proper and gets the win there, knocking off Palace. Amazing. That's why you watch the FA Cup for those games. The two sixth division teams still left in the FA Cup, and one of them has just come home just moments ago. If you saw it, a little bit of a scare there at the end. Crystal Palace did score one at the end, but Macclesfield gets the win 2-1 just moments ago at the FA Cup. There's still some more FA Cup action still to come here. A ton of it actually here still to come this afternoon from England all day long, and including more action from uh, uh, some of those shorter teams. You got one more sixth division team in action, although they're taking on fourth division Grimby's Town. But there's some other potential games out there waiting for an upset a little bit. What do you think of the FA Cup
Final.
there just moments ago? Hey, we got a busy show. We got a lot of games. We got the NFL mostly going to be me getting interrupted by the Steam plays, but hopefully that's why you're here to get that late action. Let's get right to it. With the Steam coming in, then we're going to get right to the previews. But there's been a ton of it already. I'll just go over the fastest moves here, the latest moves that we can get going here, including BYU just moments ago. This is late actions, 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific. BYU taking the Steam. They were 12.5. They're up to 13.5, maybe even 14 here. BYU taking the Steam here against the Utah Utes. The one you heard just moments ago when you were walking in here was action here. Vanderbilt taking the Steam here this afternoon. Vanderbilt against LSU at home. They were 14.5. They're up to 15.5 or 16 here right now with Vanderbilt taking the Steam here on the Morning Steam Show. A couple more to get you going. There were just too many to get into really so far with the huge college basketball card. I think we're going to preview 10 games today in college basketball. Only the best today. Only the biggest conferences today. I didn't include the mid majors today. They get their moment. We talked about them. We talked about some of the moments here so far with that win yesterday. How about it? Miami of Ohio improves to 17-0 with their road win over Toledo yesterday. We had Miami of Ohio here on the Morning Steam when Toledo maybe was the sharp side, but we went with undefeated Miami. Portland just took some steam before we were coming on the air. Portland and their matchup today with Oregon State. Portland took the steam. They were a 1 point favorite. They're up to 2.5 here right now, just seconds ago. Michigan, the real Michigan, just took some steam here right now in their matchup this afternoon. Michigan just took the steam in their game here with Wisconsin. It was 18.5. Looks like we're up to 19.5, maybe even 20. Here's Michigan taking that steam here this morning on the Morning Steam. Also, Elon took some steam here in a late afternoon, a night game. Elon, 7 Eastern and 4 Pacific. Elon was a 4-point favorite. They're up to 5.5 here over Campbell. Elon just took the steam against Campbell. Also, here's some, let's see what we got here. We got a little bit of steam coming in right now with Nebraska and Indiana. This one's in the preview, of course. It was 149. It's up to 151 right now with Nebraska and Indiana. Some steam to the over right now in that big game with Nebraska and the Hoosiers. Also, just moments ago, UC San Diego taking the steam. My Tritons taking some steam here right now in their matchup. This evening, it was UC San Diego, a 9.5 point favorite on the road against UC Riverside. They're up to 11 right now. UC San Diego taking the steam here this morning on the Morning Steam Show. And also, Southern Miss took some steam just as we were coming on the air here. Southern Miss in their matchup against UL Monroe. They were a 15-point favorite. They're up to 16.5 right now with Southern Miss taking the steam against UL Monroe. Let me say hello to folks in the chat and get things rolling here right now. And we got to go, man. There's a lot of games. We want to be out of here by about maybe we're going to be here for maybe 2.5 hours of me nonstop talk here right now. So see if we can't get all these games in here. Good morning to Kane. Andrew K is ready to go. Cash Kane ready. Nuke is ready to go this big football day. And Nuke said he knew it was over after the interception return, even though they went down and got that touchdown. It just felt like the day of the Hoosiers. And we said yesterday on the show, I don't know if we had it quite right. We said it was going to be a predominantly Indiana crowd. It was more than predominantly. I mean, what was it, 90 to 90-10, you think? Maybe 95-5 there with Indiana. And watch out. I mean, this game, the championship game, is going to be played in Miami. It's going to be a sea of red. I promise you that. There'll be Miami fans, but Miami gets, every team gets $3 million. The two teams get $3 million for their travel expenses. What do you think Miami's going to do with theirs? They're not going to go buy a quarterback or something. They don't need money for travel. Pharma Jake is here. Blake is here as well. And Toucan having a great day here yesterday. Was that what he says here? Irish King ready to go. Nick Handy is here as well. And Nuke, nice to see Nuke here. Hey, like this video, subscribe to our channel, Sports Money, here on YouTube, fastest growing sports betting channel on YouTube. Here is Wine Time. He wants to bounce back after last night. Oh no, Wine Time. Also, Greg Gibson's ready to go. Let's see who else we got. The Great in here today. Got through most of the salutations here already, so I think we're ready to go. Let's show Irish Kings. He's showing the results here, I think, from yesterday. Thank you to Irish King. Let's see here. Also, Elliot Jameson is here, and Greg Gibson talking Fernando Mendoza. He was a little more tame in his interviews last night. A little more, was he? I don't know. NYC Bar had a good day. College basketball. Hey, D Money is here as well. Some steam rolling in right now. Georgia Tech and Miami taking some steam here to the under in this one. An early start here. It was 156.5. We're down to 154.5 right now with Georgia Tech and Miami. Steam to the under there. A couple teams that maybe have produced a few overs here this season. Going under right there in that one. All right. Also, North Carolina State and Florida State right now taking the steam here. Oh, let me get this one. Western Kentucky and UTEP. Here's some steam in this one to the under with Western Kentucky and UTEP. It was 148.5. We're down to 147 here with Western Kentucky and UTEP. Steam to the under right now here. We're giving you actual line moves. This is your first time to the show. I subscribe to the fastest line services. I pay the money for it, so you better get subscribed with me here, but also giving you the opportunity to kind of tail along, maybe get in on some of these games before they move too. If your book's a little slow, listen up. When you hear that steam play, I'm going to be coming at you hopefully quickly with information telling you the line is actually moving right now. We're just not doing it for effect. I was going to say the old S&G, but giving you live, actionable sports betting information right here on the Morning Steam Show. Yeah, I'm hopefully going to give you a bunch of winners, but want to get you the best information possible. North Carolina State and FSU steam to the under here right now in this one. It was 161.5. We're down to 160 here. NC State and Florida State steam to the under here right now on the Morning Steam Show. All right. Great to be with you guys here. We're going to preview the 2 football games and then the 6 games in the NBA. And then after that, it will be the big the big hockey card today. Big hockey card. I think we can get to them all. We might be going quickly, but here's a little steam coming in on a game between Arkansas and Auburn, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. This one's going under here, the steam to the under here with Arkansas and Auburn. We've seen some overs here with these teams. It was 171, but we're down to 169.5 here with Arkansas and Auburn. Steam to the under there. Miami's going to get barbecued, says Johnny. Greg said the Raiders will take Mendoza. They better don't take look, no disrespect to what we saw from Moore, but do you really want to take Moore second in the draft right there? Yeah, the pressure was coming, but you got to have some pocket awareness, especially in the NFL, don't you? You just can't trust get it out there and throw it. Some rain over there in Europe today, pouring rain here in this German game. We've already seen a couple of cancellations in some other leagues. Here's some steam, Bakersfield and Long Beach State. We're seeing some steam right this second in this one to the under here with Bakersfield and Long Beach. It was 147. We're down to 145 here with Bakersfield and Long Beach, steam to the under. All right, Jim Duweiger is here today as well. We brought you a few winners here on the show yesterday. If it ain't foreign, it's boring. Great to see. If it ain't foreign, it's boring. Irish King's ready for that huge slate. He's ready for the NFL playoffs. AOD is rolling the train in here. And Irish King going to play some basketball. Greg says Moore was looking shaky. Hey, you can get more picks from me today. I'm going to come up with a college basketball card. We're previewing some of the early games here on the show. It's a heavy slate at noon, and then after that, you'll get your first update of the action here today. Man, I was up all night, so we got a few pages of games here today for sure in college basketball. So stay tuned if you're a subscriber and get couple updates from me today. You'll get your money's worth for sure at winnable.com/Ramon. Here's some steam right now coming in with Towson taking on Northeastern, and we're seeing steam right now in this matchup between Towson and Northeastern. Steam to the over in this one. It was 141. We are all the way up to 144 right now with Towson and Northeastern. Some steam to the over just moments ago here on the Morning Steam Show. All right, let's keep it moving here right now. And hey, oh, by the way, use the promo code STEAM to save 20% off those premium pick packages from me over at winnable.com. Thanks for all the subscribers. There we showed you we got over 300 getting those free picks from me here. And usually I just send out one or two a day. I mean, that's the free picks are kind of all about. But to get these plays here today on winnable.com, subscribe over there and use the promo code STEAM, and just subscribe for 1 month. I'll put it up for 5 weeks up there for sure. All right, couple more here. Buffalo and Ohio, steam here to the final over in this one with Buffalo and Ohio. It was 153. They're up to 155.5 right now with Buffalo and Ohio. Some pretty big move there, probably about 3 points. Buffalo, Ohio over. This looks more like light snow in this German league game here. All right, let's get going here with the show, man. We got to start here at the bottom of the hour. We're going to be here a while. Let's go to the NFL and get rolling here with Panthers taking on the Rams here in Charlotte today. And look, you got a 10.5 point favorite here for the Rams. This is almost, it's not unprecedented. We've seen double-digit favorites before in the playoffs, but not very often. Rarely, actually. You got to be as old as I am to remember underdogs sometimes as big as this coming in, but it really is unprecedented. You don't see, it's hard enough for an NFL team to be higher than a 4 or 4.5 point favorite on the road, but this Carolina team, one game under 500, gets such little respect here right now, but it's hard. It is hard for anyone who's kind of a stat person to pass on taking this big underdog today. I get it if you want to take the Rams and figure that the Panthers are a total imposter here. Maybe they are. They had to even back in kind of right after the Tampa Bay had the division. Tampa had Carolina. Then Carolina almost had to kind of back in here to the postseason with this sub 500 record. This is one of the things that the NFL wants to, or that maybe the NFL should fix, or they've hinted about fixing, about making sure that a team that is one game under 500 doesn't get the home game. I mean, if you think about it, division play is actually unfair, right? I mean, you play two teams, the same teams over and over again. We see teams like, oh, this team's got a weak schedule because they're playing the NFC South or whatever. Why not draw it out of a hat? Why not draw it and do some funky thing where, like the like when they do the Champions League draw or something, maybe draw the schedule, put it on TV or something, and put them in pools so that you play two teams from the A group, the good teams, and the B group and the C, and then try to balance it that way. Everyone says right now, oh man, you see so many times these teams go from last to first, sometimes in division play, or the team in last has a good year, then they're back. That's because when the way the NFL schedule works, when you finish in last, you play all the last place division teams in your conference, gives you an easier schedule. The good teams play the tougher schedules. Why not balance it out? You can only play 17 now, soon to be 18 games also, right? And, well, we haven't played this team in 12 years or something like that, So maybe we could find a different way so you don't get situations like this 8 and 9 team in here. And again, winning a division championship, what does it really mean? Are the airline flights closer to one another? I mean, we know that some teams are in division why are they in this division anyways? Right? I mean, when you think about it, I mean, Indianapolis and Houston, they're in the same division. I don't know. It's pretty well geographically separated right now, but still it does feel a little bit bizarre. Anyways, so for NFL playoff home underdog since 1980. That's a long time. I was 12. I was 11. NFL home playoff underdog since 1980, 35, 15, and 2 against the spread, including 6-0 just 6 times. Only 6 times since 1980 has a team been favored on the road by more than 4 points. The home dog is covered every single time. This is 10.5. This is 10.5. It's not even 4.5. So, the Rams could be the best team in the NFC. I mean, Eagles are great. We see some other great teams in the NFC as well, but this is still very, very difficult to do. We already saw the Rams lose to these guys once. Real quick, here's Abilene Christian, Texas Arlington. Seems inappropriate to pull away from this game, but I want to get you some steam throughout the show. Abilene Christian and Texas Arlington steam to the over here right now. It was 130. It's up to 132, 132.5 steam to the over with Abilene Christian and Eastern Washington. So look, maybe that's not good enough for you. It's only happened 6 times basically in 45 years. So, this is a whole different day and age maybe of football. So, and the Panthers have been dominated statistically in pretty much every game. In fact, they have been dominated in the statistics yardage-wise here in 9 of their last 10 games, despite winning some of these games and having a little bit of a streak. So that's what makes it so bizarre that, not bizarre, but just maybe why they're, a huge underdog like this. It was 31-28 in that first meeting. It was a 10-point spread, just like this pretty much in late November when these two teams meet. So, you have to consider this situation here, it feels like, with this matchup. Also, 2 of them have won. 2 of those 6 teams have actually won outright of the 6 teams that were home underdogs of this sort. One of them happened about 15 years ago. Seattle was a 10-point underdog against New Orleans and won 41-36. So see what you guys think in this one. I'll take your plays. I don't know if you want, you don't. The great thing about the NFL is you're not really waiting on me to make the pick. You're not waiting on me to give you all the info. You kind of know what you like and everything, but I want to bring you just a little bit of, extra pizzazz, a little bit to make you really think twice, or maybe give you the confidence you need with a statistic like that. I mean, there's no doubt, it should be obvious, I'm taking the Carolina Panthers in this game. I mean, those are things that just don't change overnight, I don't feel like. Now, maybe this is the one. This team's really bad. The way the playoffs have formatted over the last 25 years are totally different as well, right? I mean, this wild card round, the wild card round has 3 division winners in each, why are we calling it the wild card round, right? I mean, there's basically only 6 wild card teams and 6 division winners. So I guess that's what it is, the wild cards. And what does that mean? Are the wild cards supposed to win? That'd be the Rams here. Western Carolina and Citadel, some steam here to the under right now in this one. It was 148. We're down to 146.5 right now with Western Carolina and Citadel, steam to the under. San Francisco and Pepperdine, late night tonight. We got some steam coming in right now on the under in this one between the Dons and the Waves. Two teams that definitely can go under here so far this year, it looks like. Was 139. We're down to 137. This one was built up to 139, back down to 137. So note the line move there. And also Clemson and Notre Dame. I think this one's in the preview, actually. Steam to the under here. It was 135. We're down to 133 right now here with Clemson and Notre Dame, or we should get to 133. It might be 134.5 right now. In this one, all right, Mississippi State and Kentucky at 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific. Here's some steam to the over with Mississippi State and Kentucky. It was 152. We're up to 154.5 here with Mississippi State and Kentucky. Looks like a 2.5 point to 3-point move. We might get to 155 there to the over with Mississippi State and Kentucky. Here's a goal right now in some German league action here right now. Looks like Heidenheim has scored against Cologne right now. I'm watching German league action here. All right, let's keep it moving here with our game. You guys, let me hear from you in the chat. I got to go through 32 comments already, so why worry about what I think of this about this game? The Rams here are in the playoffs for the 7th time in 9 years under Coach McVay. They're 6-3 against the spread in their last 9 playoff games. Rams are 5-2 against the spread as a road favorite this year. They've gone over in 6 straight games. Overall, the Rams went over in their team total in 12 of their last 16 games. They did go under in their first game, but Carolina here in the playoffs for the first time in 8 seasons right now. Canales, first playoff game for him. He's 13-21 as a head coach, but he's done a great job with this team. Panthers are 5-2. ATS is a home dog so far this season. They've gained less than 300 yards in 8 of their last 10 games. I kind of mentioned those yardage totals that Carolina struggles so mightily, but Carolina's gone under in 7 of their last 9. The Rams have lost 4 of the last 5 times here into Charlotte, and in the last 3 years, the number 4 seed here is 5-1 straight up and against the spread in this round, and they were all underdogs. What you get is the bad division winner at home against the best wild card team, and this is exactly what's happened every time. The road team comes in favored, and it's 5-1 straight up. Now, it has not been 4 points or more every time. Kind of different from that, not different from that of the statistic. I mean, I just told you it took all these years. Here, you've had it in the last 3 years. It's happened 6 times where the number 4 seed comes in. They're the underdog to the wild card team here, just as we see right here. And the underdog has won the game 5 out of 6 times and covered the spread 5 out of 6 times. Now, like I said, it was 3 points or less in all those other 3.5 or less in all those other games. Let's go to the chat. Thank you, everybody. Incredible turnout here today, and great comments coming in here right now. Let's take a look. You guys have your predictions, I think, here. Let me see. Where can I find the beginning of them right now? We got to go. All right. Bo, go, Rams, Kane, Rams here. Toucan Rams first quarter. VAR is on the under. Irish King says LA Rams team total, or Kyron Williams, Puka Nacua for an anytime touchdown. 9 Legacy likes the Panthers here. Mike Humphrey, good morning. What's Nunya saying here? 41-10. Is that what he's... I don't think he's talking about this game. I don't think. Elliott says Panthers will cover, go under here. They beat the Rams here in the regular season. Hey, here's some steam right now with Illinois, Chicago, and Illinois State. Some steam to change the flow a little bit. Keep me rolling through those. Keep coming with your opinions. Maybe folks will get an opinion. They want to see your plays, not mine. under here with Illinois, Chicago, and Illinois State. It was 142. We're down to 141, 140 and a half even right now. Steam to the under with Illinois, Chicago, and Illinois State. Thank you, Gregory, for reposting this stream on X. It's obvious you've done a good job there. Got some more followers here. Rams are in place to smash and cover, but don't lay it, right? Nunya says, look, this is the NFL playoffs. If the Rams go ahead and win this game by 7, we might, in the back of our minds and on the scorecard here, say, look, Carolina covered, told you so, right? But actually, with a game like this, right, it's kind of funny. It's still kind of a blowout for the Rams if they were winning by 7 points. It's a football game. It's an NFL game, man, right? So, hey, a little bit of breaking news here right now. It's not a surprise. I think everyone's anticipating this move, but Matt Ryan has been named the president of football operations for the Atlanta Falcons. Ryan will now oversee the hiring of a new head coach and general managers. He takes over the reins for Mr. Blank in Atlanta. Matt Ryan, the former great quarterback of the Falcons. We've seen him on doing broadcasting, but he's moved into president of football operations. Good for Mr. Ryan here, joining the Falcons. Hopefully he can fix these guys up. Here's some steam right now coming in on the over. North Dakota and Missouri, Kansas City. We're seeing some steam to the over in this one. It was 147, and we're up to 149 here with North Dakota and Missouri, Kansas City. Also, here's some steam right behind it. Texas Tech and Western Illinois. We're seeing some steam here to the over in this one between Tennessee Tech and Western Illinois. Was 142. We're up to 143 and a half right now with Texas Tech and Western Illinois. Also steam here to the under with Georgia Southern and South Alabama. Seeing some steam to the under in this one. It was 150 and a half. We're down to 149 here with Georgia Southern and South Alabama. Some steam to the under. I'm going to continue looking at your plays here right now in the NFL. Greg says 28-17. No doubt. Right there. He's got it right on the number, though. Greg's not here. Let's see. Carolina's going to get run over, but it's right on the number. So what is really run over, right? Elliott here says 80% chance there. And he might be going AI on us right now. 1K Protection Firm. Good to see 1K Protection Firm in the chat today. Here's some steam for 1K Protection Firm. Appalachian State and Coastal Carolina. Some steam to the under in this one with Appy and Coastal. This one was 134 and a half. We're down here to 133 with Appy State and Coastal Carolina. Some steam to the under right here on the Morning Steam Show. All right. And let's see here. We've got Speak It By Faith. Nice to see Speak It By Faith. Panthers money line. Don't be foolish. Come on. Everybody knows this 10.5-point dog's going to win. Watch out. I mean, look, another thing to note in the NFL playoffs. Now, granted, the spreads are usually pretty darn close, right? When we're talking about usually if the dog wins, they win outright a lot. Playoffs are different than the regular season, Rams. Arnaz Little's joining us here. Charlotte, he likes the Panthers. He says everyone's still fired up with this team. It's been a good season for Carolina. We've said it week after week. Yeah, could have finished a little stronger. I'd like to finish over 500, not have it unfold the way it did. But if you're scared, just take the under here in this one. Says, Speak It By Faith. Bo, Rams win, Panthers may cover. Nuke says, going to go take the Rams in the confidence pool. That gives them enough action here for this game. Only way Rams lose if Stafford plays Santa Claus and throws 2 or 3 picks. Look out. I mean, the defense has been pretty strong for Carolina. I think that's really why they're, kind of in this position. Although I will say this, their pass defense better than the run defense, right? I've got Carolina in the bottom 5 in run defense, but the one area where Carolina actually, to me, struggle were the Rams defense. They've been good. They've been pretty good. I mean, maybe they were supposed to be better. We saw some incredible plays. I know that first touchdown with special teams, but he's a great defensive player as well. But pass defense for the Rams, to me, leaves something to be desired. I think the man in this game that's going to make the difference for the Panthers, win or lose, I think, because I'm taking them to cover this spread, obviously. So I think the man that will have the big game will be Tet McMillan. Maybe he's tailed off a little bit here late. Yes, I get that. But to me, he is Egbuka was awesome. I think McMillan turns out looking like the best rookie, you guys. Do you think so? What do you think in the rookie of the year? But McMillan, or maybe even shunning the award aside, don't you think McMillan looks like a superstar in the making here a little bit? I think the one thing you can say about McMillan and his success this season is the fact that, look, Bryce Young did it was dramatically improved this season, but he wasn't, overwhelming or anything, but he used McMillan well. Legette's going to really need to step up. Tommy Tremble has slowly been coming on. He doesn't have an awful matchup. He certainly is not expected to get targeted as much as, for example, maybe the Rams touchdowns with Higbee and Parkinson, but they're going to need to use him more. It feels like Tremble there, but also, I think one player you could look would be Jalen Coker. He had the big game against Tampa Bay, including the touchdown, 6 receptions. He was the one who stepped up. He may actually pass Legette today in production. I know Legette technically is maybe regarded as WR2. I really didn't even look, but Jalen Coker had that big game last week, and he could be the man that you might want to pick up for some long shot touchdown there a little bit. Greg says, don't get tricked by the hook. Nothing special about these Rams. They've lost some games here. Just like when we've expected the most from the Rams is like when we get the least, it feels like. So, all right. Oh, that's so interesting, Bo.
Steam play.
To see that there, that statistic. Here's Tennessee Martin and Southern. Oh, the Cologne just tied up this game. Tennessee Martin and Southern Indiana. We got some steam here in this one to the under with Tennessee Martin and South Alabama. Tennessee Martin and Southern Indiana. Where this one was 136.5, and these two teams have gone under a little bit this season. It's down to 134.5 right now with Tennessee Martin and Southern Indiana. Also mostly 135s right now, but Steam did come in on the under there in that one. Also, moments ago, Texas and Alabama, a pretty big one here. Saw some steam, actually, in this matchup to the over. Believe it or not, this one's not in our preview, but Texas and Alabama steam to the over. We can only look at a dozen games if we even get that far. It was 176. We're up to 178, 178.5 there with Texas and Alabama. Irish Kings got some prop action here. Bettis and Oviedo just finished 1-1. I was watching that one. I didn't even notice it finished. I've been so busy with you guys here. And Hanunya says McVay is coming for him. He might play it right now. Also, let's see. McVay on that commercial with the Stafford there talking about the trust and will. That hey, I voted trust and will as the most depressing bowl game of the season, and that wasn't because of the teams. All right, might be 30-17, says Greg here, and look at Speak by Face says it might be only the only California team that advances here will be the 49ers. So the Rams and Chargers might be out of here after the first weekend. All right, there's a billion games out here, Nick Handy says. Johnny wants the Ramalama Ding Dong. Here's the Rams for James Parm. Also, Greg, he says he's starting to believe in the Rams here right now. Let's see here. Bears are the dog that will pop today. We'll get to that one here in just a moment. Nunya making fun of Matty Ice there, I think, a little bit. Here's Johnny on the Rams team total over. Bo might be on the Bears here. T-Bird. Great to see T-Bird. How you been, T-Bird? He's got Upset City, I think. Great day. It's been a while. Upset Carolina and Green Bay for the wins. Nice to see you, T-Bird. And let's see here. Greg, a little bit more action there. And Gary over in the Gators, and he likes Kansas today. Good luck. Thank you, Stop Geo here. All right, Panthers and Packers for Speak It by Faith. Stop Geo's got some action as well. I'm almost caught up. There's Rishi. He likes the Panthers with the points in this one. Irish King says, "Go Pack, go!" Ba-doo-doo-doo, ba-doo-doo-doo. And we couldn't talk Razor into doing a stream tonight, but you know what? When you got your wife willing to sit down and watch a game with you, pretty good excuse. So we know that Razor watches a lot of games with us. The Packers are playing the Bears. Razor's wife wants to watch the game with him. I think we'll accept that. All right, Mike took too many Hoosiers bets and it worked out there yesterday. Packers in the over for Elliott. Nunya says he's got his POD up here right. Our Toms as well. I want to say hello and welcome to Fountain Blue Mario here today in the chat. Also, let's see, Rams practice here. I think that's it. I'm all caught up with you guys here. Can the Panthers upset the Rams twice in a row here right now? And this game could be over by halftime. All right. I think we've made it all the way through the comments. If you want to comment right now, you're probably too late. We got to move on to the next one. I'm on the Panthers here, plus those points. Pretty much just what I just told you about the tradition, the history of these home underdogs. You just don't see it like this coming in. All right, next up. The Green Bay Packers are going to take on the Chicago Bears. Look, one thing we know is, let's begin a little FA Cup. I'm going to go back to more FA Cup here right now. Okay. Anyway, Packers and the Bears. One thing we know is the Packers own the Bears. We know that. You could make the old Aaron Rodgers jokes, but went back even further than that with Favre, because the Bears pretty much sucked for a lot of years. The Packers still were able to win. They've been to bowls with the Bears. I mean, it's been since I was a teenager, since the Bears won the Super Bowl. So, let me get a steam play here before we get too deep. Rhode Island and Davidson. We're seeing some steam here in this one to the under with Rhode Island and Davidson. This one was 136.5. We're seeing some steam to the under here with Rhode Island and Davidson. Nasty Nate, you out there? This one's going under too. 135 right now with Rhode Island and Davidson.
Critical notice.
All right, so anyway, let's take a look at this one with the Bears here. Ever since that the format expanded here. All right, Fordham and St. Bonaventure. Here's some steam right now in this one to the over with Fordham and St. Bonaventure. It was 140, but we're up now to 141.5, maybe even 142. That's an early start, Fordham and St. Bonaventure. So ever since the league expanded to the 14-team playoff in 2020, the number 7 seed in the NFL playoffs basically are 1 in 10 with a push, I think, in there so far since 2020 when the league expanded to the 14-team playoff. Who was the only winner? The Green Bay Packers. They were a 7-point underdog in Dallas 2 years ago, but still just an unusual role right here, right now, right? With the Packers coming in with this losing streak that had them to tumble all the way to the bottom of the seedings here. Here's some steam on Lindenwood in this one. Lindenwood was a 5.5-point favorite. They're up to 6.5, even 7 here. Lindenwood over Arkansas Little Rock. Steam on Lindenwood. So 7 seed just doesn't get it done. 1 in 10 straight up. Look, they're favored here in this game. They still got to win this game by 2 points. And I'm starting to see a little bit of action here, right? We see a couple of ones out there at a few books right now. Also, the sharpest book in the world has just moved to Rams -10. They just took the hook off there a short time, probably because of me talking. We know this is a show the bookmakers watch. So, anyways, Green Bay, that losing streak that sent them to the bottom of the NFC playoff seeds. Really, no team has ever. Let me see. I think that's right. Teams coming in on a 4-game losing streak into the playoffs. It's only happened a couple of times, but they failed to win both times. And not only that, both losses of those teams came by 14 points, ironically enough. It's only happened twice, but twice in the
Steam play.
in the last 45 years in that role, teams entering with the losing streak, like we've seen here with the Green Bay Packers. Cal State Fullerton is taking some steam right now here, folks. Cal State Fullerton, their matchup with Northridge. Fullerton was a 1.5 point favorite. They are up to 3 right now in this one. So only twice has a team entered in with a four-game losing streak like the Packers, and both times that team lost by 14 points. It only happened twice in the last 45 years, but could be noted. Meanwhile, playoff teams on a 2-game losing streak, like the Chicago Bears, are 15-3 straight up and 14-4 against the spread at home since 1990. That could also be the case for the Carolina Panthers in that previous game. So see what you have here. Green Bay remembers that 22-16 overtime loss to the Bears on December 20th. They outgained Chicago by 165 yards, but Jordan Love suffered that concussion and missed a bunch of games. And, we get him back today. So, that is a caveat to that stat a little bit that I did mention to you. Love is in a favorite role here for the first time in his postseason career. He's 2-1. Obviously, here in his career so far, all 3 of those were as an underdog. So, see what you got here. The Bears, look, the big thing for the Bears is they turned the corner because of one man. It's not it's not Caleb Williams here. Look, I have to listen to my partners here on these shows kind of bang on Caleb Williams. He's done a pretty good job. He's probably I would say that a lot of people were doubting Caleb Williams. I think it's hard now to kind of doubt him here, or at least put him aside and say he might be a quarterback that fails. It looks like here how many quarterbacks are we losing here? We talk about all these bad quarterbacks. How many quarterbacks never make it in this league because they have crappy coaches or something, right? And these guys end up, getting tossed aside. We say they're just terrible. Not that Caleb Williams, we're not taking him to the Super Bowl yet. We're not Josh Allen with him or so far. Duke is taking some steam here in this one over in their match. Let me get this one first, fresh off the wire. Air Force taking some steam here right now against New Mexico at 3 Eastern, noon Pacific. Air Force was an 18-point dog. They're down to 16.5 here right now. Air Force taking the steam against New Mexico, and just before that it was Duke taking the steam in their matchup today here with SMU. They were a 12.5 point favorite. Looks like they're up to about 13.5, maybe even 14 right now. Duke taking the steam against SMU. All right, I'll continue on, but go ahead with your comments. We're ready to kind of dig in here and get the comments from the chat. Green Bay in the playoffs for the 6th time in the last 7 years, but they have limped to the finish with a massive onslaught of injuries. That's really been the part. Not only did Love miss all that time, but they're missing players left and right here. And I think they've shored up this receiving core a little bit here with Dobbs, Watson, and Reed. You might as well. This is a pretty good matchup for the offense here for Jordan Love, actually. I mean, you could, look at that Bears defense. I think they're susceptible a little bit in that passing game, but it's been a problem here for the Packers keeping all these receivers healthy. But I think with Dobbs, Watson, and Jaden Reed, who did get shut out their last game, but he's got to be a factor in this one. Even Matthew Golden here, if we get down to the 4th receiver, they're probably going to win, I would think. For the Bears here, their running game can take advantage of that Packers run defense for sure, but can Swift and Monangai come through with a strong ball control offense? That's what they can use. That's what they can need. It's also a pretty good matchup for Moore and Odunze. But if the Packers are able to get that pressure on Williams, and that's where the Packers have had those, those costly injuries right now. So that's what they're going to have to kind of overcome a little bit and put that pressure on Williams here. A lot of people are talking Cole Kmet. But I would say now, look, the Packers are very good against tight ends, but Loveland has been the man at tight end for Chicago here, and he might actually be, the Packers with Musgrave in there, but Loveland, his stats have been really good here over the last. They might have found something here with Loveland. He's had 2 incredible games here, 6 catches, and then of course last week against Detroit, yeah, they lost that one too, but 10 catches, 91 yards, and a touchdown for Loveland, and his prices still look pretty good here in the prop department. Again, Packers number 1 in my opinion defensively at covering tight ends. Arkansas State just took some steam right now in their matchup with Texas State. Arkansas State was an 11-point favorite. They're up to 12 and a half right now. They've been a good cover this season. Texas State not so much. Steam to the Arkansas State here just moments ago. Also, let's go to the added board real quick. Let me get this one out. It is Boston College taking the steam here right now against Louisville. Boston College on the road against the Ville. They'll be wearing those Donovan Mitchell-inspired uniforms, I think, or designed uniforms today. Boston College was getting 22, but we're down to 20 and a half right now. Boston College took the steam just moments ago. Added board here, steam in on South Carolina State and Morgan State. Seen some steam in this one to the under with South Carolina State and Morgan State. It was 149 and a half. We're down to 148 right now. Steam to the under with South Carolina State and Morgan State. All right, you guys don't have as many comments maybe about this game. Also, this just in, Michigan's star, Yaxel Lendenborg, he is questionable for today's game against Wisconsin. We know that he's been hurt here over the last game or two, and he's questionable, the Michigan superstar in that game. I have him as the player of the year so far. I know everybody's on Boozer, but I'm kind of been on Lendenborg so far, but right now he is questionable for today's game. All right, I'm going to go to the chat, I guess. I guess I'm said my piece here in this one with I'm taking the Bears. I think the Packers' injuries are too much in the end, and that will be the difference today. I'm taking the Bears to cover here to win. I'm taking the Bears to win here in this one. Give you the home teams today in the playoffs. Here, I'll take the Bears plus 1.5, but I think they can win this one. The last 2 losses, we said they're coming in with the 2-game losing streak here. They were by a total of 5 points. Love didn't miss all 4 of those games. They only missed the last 2 games here. And even though I said he was 2-1 against the spread in the postseason as underdogs, he is 1-2 straight up. So make sure we note that. Here's some steam with Maryland and UCLA. Here's steam to the under in this one between the Terrapins and the Bruins, and some Big Ten action here today. It was 146 and a half. We're down to 145 here with Maryland and UCLA. Steam to the under right here, right now on the Morning Steam Show. All right, so the Bears making their first playoff appearance in 6 years. Ben Johnson, this is also his first playoff game. We want to sing his praises, but he's got a rookie, not a rookie quarterback, but a first-time playoff starting quarterback here right now. The Bears were 6-2 straight up at home this season. They went under in 6 of their last 9 games. Now, over the last 5 years, the number 2 seeds, that would be the Bears. Talking about this current format, the number 2 seeds are 9-1 straight up and 7-3 against the spread in this round. So that is something of note. The home team won both games this year, and of course the Packers have won 18 of the last 21 meetings between the 2 teams. Let's go to the chat. Thank you, everybody, for bearing with me there as we kept interrupting to a little bit with our steam, but we want to have a great sports betting day with all the sports. We know it's not football. These games are tough. Here we go. We're ready to go. Let's get it. Who's on it? VAR was first with the Packers. Here's some steam coming in right now with TCU. They're taking the steam here right now in their matchup against Arizona. This was in one of our previewed games right now. Hey, this just in, Louisville guard Ryan Conwell, a 20 points per game scorer. He is listed as questionable here for the game against Boston College today. This one just breaking here. Conwell of the Cards, we just mentioned that game. No wonder we saw this team go the other way. It looks like he'll probably miss, it sounds like to me. He's listed as questionable here, the 19 points per game scorer. Coincidence that steam came in? I think not. That's why you're here with me on the Morning Steam Show. TCU took the steam against Arizona. They were a 7.5 point dog. They're down to 6.5, maybe even 6 here. TCU taking the steam. Here we go. R. Thompson is on the Bears. Here's Greg. He says he's got the 23-21 Packers in this one. Also, here is Greg. Packers and the under here. 9 legacy. Bears on the spread. Twisted says Panthers plus the points. Bears on the money line. Good morning to Twisted in there. Love playing? They'll win, says Greg. Parsons still out. I mean, it's been the injuries. That's just why the Packers wouldn't have faded this far. I think they would have had a home game actually if they wouldn't have kind of tumbled here at the end of the season like they did. But I thought it coincided with the injuries, quite frankly. Still, Packers weren't great against the number, just 2-8-1 against the spread on the road this season. Meanwhile, the Bears finished 6-3 against the spread, as I said, as an underdog, and finished covering 8 of their last 10 games overall down the stretch. Here's Eastern Illinois taking some steam right now in their matchup with Tennessee State. Eastern Illinois was a 4.5 point dog. They're down to +3 here right now. Eastern Illinois. Speaking of the Bears, there. Eastern Illinois taking that steam there. Okay, let me get some more here. Let's see. I think Cole Kmet there for Charles today. And Charles liked those uniforms of Louisville. Here's Mike. He's on the Bears. He might even buy it up to 3. A lot of people talking about, how to buy points, why to buy points, and it's a negative to buy points. But, in a playoff game, you want to win. I mean, we know how it goes here. Bears might be in a good live spot. Hey, Seth Dominius is here today. Nice to see Seth Dominius. Boozer does play like his dad. He's better than Boozer's dad was a very, very, very good player, but I think Boozer's son is going to be better, don't you? Chicago might have a horseshoe, says Greg. And Packers for Jim says, hey, they're still the Packers here. Seth with his score prediction, it looks like. And that's it. I'm all caught up with you guys. The football segment might be over here. Missouri State just took the steam moments ago in their matchup today with Florida International. It only took us half an hour to get the football games out. Missouri State was a 1.5 point favorite. They're up to 2.5 here right now, maybe even 3. Missouri State just took that steam. Okay, I guess that's it from the football. Nunya wants the moldy cheese hat. I went down when it was a little bit slow there, went down the YouTube rabbit hole and looked at the History Channel, the history of American cheese, and how that happened. And I think it's what Nunya just said, got that moldy cheese. All right, that's it for football. Enjoy here today. I'm on the home teams. This is the NFL playoffs. All right. We've got 6 games in the NBA here. This won't take long, and we can get to the big college. And then, I've got 10 games. I think we'll finish in fine time here within the next hour and 15 minutes today. I guess if you have a request on the college basketball card, when we get there, we might be able to take a few inquiries. But let's get to the situation here with the NBA tonight. This one actually is a day game here. This is a nice lead in to the playoffs if you like pro sports. And this one's at 1 Eastern and 10 Pacific here with the Wolves on the road, taking on the Cavs, 4.5, 238.5 here. It feels like right now with these two. And let's take a look. Got Minnesota coming in here 25-13. They're on a 4-game winning streak right now. The Cavs have lost 2 of 3 coming in, including losing last time out here to Minnesota. They just played 2 nights ago. It was 131-122. The Timberwolves got the win and the cover as a 3-point and a 3.5-point home favorite. So let's flip it here and go to Cleveland and see what happens when these two teams meet here. Two of them. Minnesota's actually cleaned their act up here with some real covers here of late. In fact, they've won and covered 4 straight right now. And remember, they started off as one of those teams where we said, hey, they're winning games, but they're not covering. Kind of bizarre, but they've almost kind of brought it all back. Not Cleveland, though. They're still not covering. They're still overrated to a certain extent. Minnesota's won and covered, as I said, 4 straight and 5 of their last 6 overall. Minnesota's 8-4 against the spread in their last 12 games against Cleveland coming in. Minnesota's gone over in 6 of their last 8 on the road. The Caps have failed to cover in 4 of their last 5, although they've won 4 of their last 6 overall, because that's what they do. They win and don't cover, like they did against Indiana, like they did against Denver. Here's some steam right now with Old Dominion and James Madison here. We're seeing some steam come in on this one to the over. It was 148. We're seeing 150 right now with Old Dominion and James Madison. All right. 4 of the last 5 meetings between these two teams have gone over here. I'm talking about Minnesota and Cleveland. We're getting several postponements here right now in some of these games over across the pond. All right, here's some steam right now coming in on Loyola Marymount. In their game tonight against Santa Clara, they were getting 12 points on the road. This one's down to 10.5 right now with Loyola Marymount and Santa Clara steam to the Lions here on the road against Santa Clara. All right, I'm ready to hear from you guys in the chat. I think, will we make it through the NBA segment? This is how we cover our college basketball. When you got 160 games, man, you got to just kind of go with it and just pass along as much information as you can. We can't preview them all. All right, here we go. What do you guys think in this one between Cleveland and Minnesota? We can go to the chat here. Cleveland is a team that really is not covering the spread. We know that, but here we go. Speaking by Faith here likes the Wolves in this one. And Greg has 122, 116 cash cane. First half money line is easy money. Also, let's see here. Seth is on the Cavs here, -4. That's right on the spread. Okay, Nunya there talking about the LSU Bandy game. And James Farm says he likes the Cavs here on the money line. Blake is here today, and he likes the over in this one. Here's some steam real quick. San Jose and Grand Canyon. Seeing some steam coming in here right now on the under in this one between San Jose State and Grand Canyon. It was 141.5, but we're down here right now to 140 with San Jose State and Grand Canyon. Also, here's some NBA steam just moments ago. We'll be getting to this one momentarily, but steam to the over here right now with the game between the Spurs and the Celtics. It was 230, but we're up to 231.5 here, maybe even 232 with the steam to the over in this one with the Spurs and the Celtics tonight. How about that? Blake was on the over, but Barr was on the under in this game. And R. Tomps here liking the Timberwolves in this one. And Charles, thank you for your college basketball information in there as well. All right. Appreciate that. All right, I guess got to make my call here in this one between the Timberwolves and the Cavs. I've got the Wolves in this one. Take the Wolves plus the points, +4 on the road against the Cavaliers. Next up, the Raptors no, I'm sorry. Let me get rid of that one. That was an old game there, right? Here we go. Heat and the Pacers. Now we're into the evening action, 7:10 Eastern, 4:10 Pacific, with the Heat on the road here in this one. And they're taking on the Pacers here tonight. Got the Heat favored on the road by 7.5 total. 234.5 here right now. This one's gone down from as high as 236 right now. And hey, I can see it. I mean, we've got some teams definitely dealing with some unders here right now. The way these two teams are going, let me get to some of the numbers here with these two teams today. A bit frustrating here. I was on a roll. Notice. Only technology can hold me back. All right. For Minnesota here, look, for Miami here, look, they've been a good cover for sure. They're 21-15 against the spread, 10-7 against the spread on the road. The Pacers are bad, but they do find a way to cover despite having a record of 7-31. They're 19-19 against the spread, 11-9 against the spread at home. Usually they've found enough to cover the spread in some of these games. Indiana, despite losing 13 of their last 14 games overall, have gone 4-2 against the spread in their last 6. Miami's covered 4 of the last 6 meetings. However, between the two teams coming into this one, Miami's gone 5-2 straight up and against the spread in their last 7 games overall. 9 straight meetings between these two teams have gone over, but you see that move going under, man, and that's what I kind of thought too. Usually a series history like that would maybe have me peeking on the over because of the, they play 4 times a year, but Miami's gone under in 11 of their last 16. Miami and Indiana's gone under in 4 of their last 5 games coming into this one. So let's hear from you in this one. Look, the Pacers have done a pretty good job here so far, but man, I wonder if it's just asking a little bit too much every time to keep on covering the spread here. But what are you going to do? They keep covering. Here we go in the chat. Anything in this game? Here's Greg. Let's see here. He's got it pretty much right on the spread. Keith is on the Heat here. Blake is on the Heat here as well. Irish King is liking the under there in this one. Look, I mean, like I said, it's feels like it should be going under here a little bit. R. Thompson is on the Heat, and Greg says Indiana was a playoff team last year. Yeah, but they were missing their best player all season long, Greg. And even though you might think they're a trash team, they're actually, for bettors, they're right. They're at least 50-50 proposition, so they're usually getting enough points here. They're an overlooked team. Seth is on the Pacers plus the points and the under here, and I'm gonna have to take a stab with these points as well tonight at home. I know the Sharps are gonna lay it here today, but Jaquez here is questionable. Norman Powell also. Here, let me see. Norman Powell is probable here. Larson probable. Jovic probable. Hero probable. Adebayo probable. So they got all their players back, man. No wonder they're a pretty modest little favorite here at 7.5 right now. I'll take the Pacers here still to cover. All right, let's go to the next one here. Clippers on the road taking on the Pistons. The Pistons are a 6-point favorite here, total 216 right now in this one. In fact, I think we're seeing a little bit of movement here to the under, maybe 5.5, 215.5. The Clippers have been alternating wins and losses of late. They did win their last time out against Brooklyn last night, 121-105. They crushed them. They covered the spread. You got the Pistons here. They're back and going off like they have been. The Pistons have won 3 in a row again, all covers. Beat Cleveland on the road, beat the Knicks at home as an underdog, believe it or not. Remember, they beat the Knicks by 31 31 points, and they beat Chicago last time out. They've had some rest here for sure coming into this one. The Clippers have been they've totally turned it around. I think that's fair to say. Yeah, they lost to Boston. They lost to Knicks. Those are pretty good teams. But remember, they were beating 6 teams in a row by more than 20 points just over started about 2 weeks ago. You're going to give some back, especially to some of those good teams here right now. You got some injuries as well with this game. Cade Cunningham, questionable. Isaiah Stewart, questionable. And I don't know if it looks good, actually, for Stewart here. So Cunningham does have a wrist injury. Pistons a good cover, no doubt about it. Here, even as a favorite, they're 11-7 against the spread. It's just a matter you got to wonder with the Clippers. Played last night, got a win at Brooklyn. Good on them. They, against two good teams, and maybe out of the last few games, Boston and the Knicks probably the best teams that they played. They did beat the Warriors, but I don't know, do we put the Warriors up there right now with Boston and the Knicks? I don't know if we do. Maybe just below them a little bit. So let's see what you have here in this one, and I'll take your plays here with the Clippers and the Pistons here today. And this one, look, man, I was on a show last night talking under when it was 219, and now it's 215.5. I might be having some under regret here. Well, talked a good number there. Okay, let me hear from you guys here in the chat. I'm ready with our preview here. Clippers have covered 8 of their last 10. They've also defeated Detroit in 12 of the last 13 meetings have been won by the Clippers over Detroit. Detroit's won and covered 4 of their last 5, or 4 straight, I should say, or 3 straight, 4 out of their last 5. Detroit has gone under in 7 of the last 10 meetings against the Clippers, and they've gone under in 5 of their last 6 games overall. Let's go to the chat here in this one. All right. 9 Legacies, Normie Powell is better than Hero and Jaime Jaquez. Irish King says first quarter and first half with the Pistons here. And 9 Legacy says Pacers on the spread. Here's Pistons for speaking into faith. There's if it ain't boring, it's boring. Great to have it. If it ain't boring, it's boring here in the chat. Talk about that last game. R. Tom's on the Pistons. Blake's on the Pistons. Seth is on the Pistons. Barr's on the Pistons. You guys are all over the Pistons here. Except Greg. He kind of likes the Clippers here, plus a half a point. And let's see. With the hook there, feels like. All right. Well, look, I mean, the Clippers on the back-to-back. Harden probable here. See what else we have. The move, if anything, has been on the Clippers a little bit. Derrick Jones out for the Clippers. Also, Jalen Duren still out for the Pistons as well here right now. So let me take one more quick look with you guys. Pistons all day, says Kane. He took the Nets over the Clippers yesterday, so he says, and Greg says the Clippers, they did smash yesterday in that win over Brooklyn. Yeah, it is the back-to-back, so I got to do it as well. Give me the Pistons here tonight to cover this one with the Clippers on that back-to-back, and it's down to 5.5 a little bit. AUD, Detroit basketball. All right, here we go. Next up, the Mavericks are on the road here, taking on the Bulls. In this one, we've got the Bulls favored here by 2.5, and the total 233. In this one for Chicago here, you got Jalen Smith and Kevin Huerter questionable here in this matchup. For the Mavericks here, you got Anthony Davis. He's out indefinitely. Pleased with the jokes, you guys. Obviously, it was an awkward. Yeah, maybe he's fragile, but it looked like anybody could have got hurt the way he had his hand jammed in there. He's out indefinitely right now for Dallas. Brandon Williams, P.J. Washington, they are out of this game here today. So let's hear from you in this one with the Mavericks taking on the Bulls here tonight. Mavericks come in 14-24. The Bulls are 17-20. The Mavs have won 2 of 3. Did lose to Utah last time out, but beat Houston and Sacramento before that. Meanwhile, for Chicago, Chicago. 3 consecutive losses to Charlotte at home. Then they lost to Boston. They lost to Detroit on the road. I want to hear from you in the chat in this one between Mavericks and the Bulls. Dallas has gone just 1-6 against the spread in their last 7 games, winning just 2 of those games. They are 4-1 against the spread against Chicago in the last 5 meetings. Dallas has gone under in 5 of their last 6 games coming in. Chicago's gone under in 7 of their last 9 games coming in, and 10 of the last 12 meetings between these two teams have gone under. Chicago's just 2-5 straight up and against the spread in their last 7 games. They have some other injury concerns here as well than the ones that I just mentioned. We know that Josh Giddey is still out right now for the Bulls here currently. Also, Zach Collins still out as well. Brandon Williams. We mentioned those. We mentioned those Dallas injuries. So let's see what you guys have here in this one. Dallas is 18-11 against the spread as an underdog. Chicago's the worst favorite in the league. They are 3-13-1 against the spread here so far this season. And let me see. I think that total actually. No, that's right. Let's see what you got here in this one with Dallas and Chicago, and then I'll make my call here in this one with the Mavs and the Bulls. I want to hear from you in the chat. All right, and Mavs on the money line. I think I'm with Cash Kane here. I'm taking the Dallas Mavericks today. Give me the Mavericks on the road. I think they can win. I'll take the 3 points here. 9 Legacy Bulls on the spread. Irish King says take Chicago. Speaking by Faith is on Chicago. Greg here, though, I think he likes the Mavericks in this one. Want to pass along some steam here real quick. San Diego and Pacific. We're seeing some steam here to the over in this one between the Toreros and the Tigers. It was 146. These two have had a few unders so far this season. San Diego and Pacific, it was 146.5. We're up to 147.5, or maybe even 148 right now with steam to the over with San Diego and Pacific this evening. Also, moments ago, it was Syracuse taking the steam here right now. Syracuse was getting 1 point, but now they're a possible favorite here right now. Syracuse is just taking the steam here. It's at least a pick 'em right now with Syracuse taking the steam in that Big East game again. Game against Pittsburgh. Yeah, silly me, ACC game. I'm still in old school mode. Okay, let's see. Our tops on the Bulls. A couple more here. Bulls for Blake. Dallas and under for Greg. Thank you, Twisted, for your games there today. Yep, I don't know if I had any of those listed here today. Maybe the Providence game. I was on another show last night talking Providence there. Greg, sprinkle the Dallas money line. Chicago getting good points, though. Fernando, hello, Fernando. What a great job you did last night, Fernando, at your quarterbacking. Speaking by Faith says, sprinkle the money line on Dallas. Yeah, I think so. And I'm going to take the Dallas Mavericks in this one. Okay, we just mentioned here the Spurs and Celtics. Now let's see what the line is here now currently. I'm showing the Spurs are now favored here by 1.5. This line is shifted here. Spurs are favored now on the road here, and the total is 231.5 at the most for the most part. There, after we saw that steam come in here just moments ago on that over. See a 232 out there as well, so maybe it'll go up just a notch. But hey, this has got to be the game of the night. I mean, you got the Spurs 26-11. The Celtics come in here 24-13. Here, yeah, we're up against the night football game, but make a nice little co-feature on the screens. Right now, let's see what you have here. Both teams coming in off of a win. It was Boston getting that win over Toronto last night at home, 125-117. They did not cover. The Spurs, meanwhile, have had a couple of days off here. They beat the Lakers. Of course, they beat up the Lakers 107-91 at home last time out. But Boston is at home here. And we take a look at those injuries there a little bit with these two teams coming in with the Spurs and the Celts. For the Celtics, Minot is questionable here in this one. Also, Vassell remains out for the Spurs, and Champagny is questionable here in this one. That one's kind of an update here just within the last couple of minutes, I do believe, as he is questionable with the back tightness here. Let's go to the chat in this one between the Spurs and the Celtics. San Antonio has won 11 of their last 16, but they've gone just 2-5 against the spread in their last 7 overall. Boston's won 5 of their last 6 and 8 of their last 10 games at home, this German league game is 2-2 here early in the second half with Cologne and Heidenheim here. Boston's 14-6 against the spread in their last 20 games overall. 4 of the last 5 meetings between these two teams have gone under here. What do you think with Boston at home? They're playing so much better right now, and still the Spurs, pretty elite here, it feels like right now. Let me hear from you guys in the chat and see what you have in this one. I want to hear from you. Here we go. Kane says give him the Spurs in this one. And speaking by faith, Spurs for sure. NYC Bar on the Spurs. Boston couldn't beat a depleted Denver team. What makes you think they're going to come back and win this one? I don't know. That was bizarre. But again, I would argue that Denver's actually played pretty well without Jokic in there. They've lost a couple games, but they've also played. I know they were 10-point favorites, don't get me wrong, but before that, Boston was on a winning streak, and then they came back to beat Toronto. Were just favored by too many points. Spurs here for Blake. Fernando says give him the Spurs team total over. And Greg says Boston got to be tired, though, after playing last night. And like I said, San Antonio's had that time off. Is Jason Tatum back yet? No, sir. I guess that means Robot Glock's been going against Boston in every game so far. And that's not good. Boston is 21-16, ATS 8-4 against the spread. Now they're an underdog, so they're 8-4 against the spread as an underdog. San Antonio's 10-13-2 against the spread as a favorite. R. Thompson's on the Spurs. Hey, there was some steam that just came in a moment ago. It's on Arizona State in their matchup today with Kansas State. Arizona State was a 1-point favorite. They're taking the steam here. They're favored by 2.5 now over K-State at 3 Eastern and noon Pacific. All right, hey, I got to make my call in this one here with the Celtics and the Spurs in this one. And, yeah, I'm taking the San Antonio Spurs here in this one with the Celtics on the back-to-back. Spurs still playing pretty excellent ball. I'll take the Spurs here in this one. Also, some steam came in just seconds ago with Tennessee Chattanooga. Chattanooga taking the steam here right now in their matchup today. Chattanooga up against Samford. It was Samford by 1.5, but now Chattanooga's favored by 1 or maybe even 1.5. Chattanooga just took the steam against Samford. Man, we're having a great time here. You guys are keeping me motivated here on the morning steam. Let's get the last NBA game going. We got a ways to go. Going to be here for about another hour or so. Previewing hockey and some college basketball. What a day it's going to be. Hornets and the Jazz here in this one. Probably could have left this one off, but there's only 6 games here tonight. So you got the Hornets on the road. They're favored by 4.5. Total is up here to 239.5 right now. I was on a show last night taking a better number than that, because it's kind of gone higher here right now. Charlotte's lost 2 in a row. Utah just snapped a losing streak. It's tough, man. Utah did beat Dallas here 2 nights ago, 116-114. They're still a pretty decent cover. Are the Utah Jazz? Charlotte here is a favorite. They're 2-4 ATS. It feels like the Jazz are 14-6 against the spread at home. Who wouldn't want to take these guys right now? Now Markkanen is on the injured list, and this is a deal breaker for some people, I think, here, because I believe he is out of this game. He's getting his rest day here, but Nurkic is also questionable. So Utah is playing with a pretty small lineup in here, it feels like, because of that. Bailey is also out of this game. So Utah does have some notable injuries between, especially if Nurkic isn't in there. I mean, they've already been playing without Kessler all season long, pretty much. For the Hornets, Plumlee is out of this game. Salon, he is probable in this one. Kalkbrenner probable. Grant Williams probable as well. So Charlotte gets a big upgrade here with their lineup today. But, even without Markkanen, Markkanen's missed 5 games this season. It does feel like when he's not in there, they aren't as of course, they're not as good, but it also feels like I don't have the numbers exactly here for the spread record without Markkanen in there. I guess we could have did a little more work with them here. I mean, it still feels like the type of situation where you still want to ride with taking these points with Utah. They are a gritty sort, a good cover, but Charlotte's been a good cover too. They've actually been hot ATS right now. They've covered right now in 8 of their last 10 games coming in, although they've won just 2 of their last 7. They've been covering numbers. They're also 2-5 against the spread in their last 7 against Utah. Utah's gone over in 12 of their last 18 and 6 of their last 7 games at home. Already talking about that total a little bit, although 6 of the last 9 meetings have gone under. Hey, I'm taking points at home still with Utah. Give me the Jazz over the Hornets here. Hornets aren't that good here. I mean, they're basically got the same record as the Jazz, and maybe it's the injuries that have made the Hornets the favorite here. So I'm going to take the Jazz in this one. All right, if you guys want to comment, let's go. But we're going to go next to college basketball here. And let's see who was here for the Hornets and the Jazz. There's Bobby Mack in the chat today. Utah and the spread and the under. Here is Robot Glock says Jazz first half, Hornets full game. Charlotte beat the Thunder on the road. They crown them champs here. Anything can happen in the NBA. Hornets here, sports, speaking to faith. Jazz need to lose this game on the old Tanko meter here a little bit. The Jazz are currently 7th, or if you look at the standings backwards, they're right next to each other. Utah does have a protected pick there, I think. But right now, Charlotte, 6th worst record, Utah 7th worst record. So it's an important game, says Robot Glock. Yeah, the Jazz have some guys out for sure here. Greg here says, I think he's got it right on the number, of course. Twisted, thank you. He's got some other college basketball. Take a screenshot of that. We'll preview, I think, one of those games on there. R. Thompson on the Jazz over. Utah can't beat Charlotte's underrated. Cash Kane is on the Hornets on the money line. And Greg says LaMelo will score 32. He looked great in that last game, didn't he? That's it for college ball. Let's go to, for the NBA. Let's go to college ball next here, since all the games are pretty much early on. And let's start off with, going to go right to the card here, Nebraska. I see a typo. Nebraska. Does anybody remember? I know that some of my horse racing fans will remember. Let me do it. Does anybody remember the old racetrack in Nebraska? It was called, I'll show it right now. Maybe I can do it like this. I even spelled it wrong there, but let me get it right. There used to be a racetrack in Nebraska, and this is the name of it. Axarben, which if you read that backwards is Nebraska. Do you remember that racetrack? That racetrack's been, somebody Google that for me. I'd say that racetrack closed 20 years ago, maybe even longer. But I remember I was a young kid gambler. I was like, what a dumb name. didn't even know it was a Nebraska backwards. I mean, it was so obvious too. I mean, XR Ben. There it is. There's Robot Clock. In fact, he has the hyphens there. They did hyphen it quite frequently. Yeah, you're right. Okay, here we go with this one, Nebraska and Indiana. Thank you for joining me here for the college basketball portion. I think I've got 10 games, just 10 of the best here. A couple of them I'm skipping. I talked about them on some other shows and got so many games. Want to get several opinions out there today, so thank you. Nebraska comes in here 15-0, of course. Hey, we saw Miami of Ohio win last night. Here's a move right now, and if anybody did see me on another one of those shows, we are seeing some steam right this second. Tennessee and Florida steam to the under. I took under last night at a lower number than this. They just steamed it at 152.5 down here to about 150.5. I said last night go under 150 here. Tennessee and Florida just took some steam to the under right here on the Morning Steam Show. All right. Anyways, what are you doing here? Nebraska and Indiana. I saw one comment already. What is Nebraska doing here as a underdog in this game? I mean, they're the team coming in 15-0. They're ranked 10th in the country. And how many times you see it? It's a narrative that you've got the unranked team here favored in this game. Nebraska, they're not a fluke. I mean, come on. Nebraska's won all 15 of their games this season. They've also gone 4-1 straight up and 5-1 against the spread and against Indiana here of late. Indiana is hot here. They're undefeated at home so far this season with a record of 10-0. They're also 5-1 straight up in their last 6. Nebraska's 2-0 as a road underdog so far this season. Indiana's a decent cover. They're 8-3 against the spread as a favorite, so they've done a nice job here right now. And 5 of the last 6 meetings between these two have gone over. We saw that widely reported steam come on the over here just a short time ago. In fact, the number on the screen is stale, because it's actually 151.5, as we stated. Even 152 out there, 152 juice to the over at Bet Online. So go ahead. I think, it feels like the Sharps are going to be, the Sharps just take numbers. They're going to lay it here, of course, with Indiana here, I'm sure, at 4.5. I don't know if any squares like me can, necessarily ignore taking some points with this team, especially when they've had such good success against them, right? You do have to consider that, don't you? That when these two teams have met, Nebraska's won 4 straight meetings between the two teams. They met last season, and it was 85-68. Nebraska got the win at home as a 4-point favorite. They did meet 3 times in 2020 during the 23-24 season. Nebraska won all 3 of those, 86-70, 85-70, and 93-66 when they met in the Big Ten tournament. So that was before. Now Nebraska's they've had a pretty decent team over those last couple of years. Of course, Indiana has been pretty okay as well here, but well, let's see what you got here in this one with these 2 teams today, Indiana and Nebraska here. Read off some of those trends anyway, and I think we'll get some comments in the chat. And I don't know. I will say this: Nebraska's forward Ugnius Drusevicius is out of this game. A pretty good player here for Nebraska. He's going to miss the game. Old Oogie. In there, he is out. Also, Burt is out, the forward for the Huskers. So they have 2 kind of key injuries here coming in, especially Drusevicius. Here we go. All right. Okay, Mike Humphrey said that was in Omaha. Greg says 75-72. R. Toms, hey, R. Toms, if you can go to my social media page, my X page. I think maybe we can get that. You can see that there. I'm not going to talk about too much on here. Okay, it's overnight though. It's in the middle of the night, so If you're up late night, my friend. Here, Cash Kane, Indiana money line. Speak it by faith is on Indy. R. Tom's liking Nebraska with those points. I mean, come on. Nebraska might win, says Greg. Fernando liking that over. Steam right now. Robert liking the over too. Blake liking the over in this one. Man, a lot of over, huh? All right, let's see here. Robot, that is so sick, man. I mean, how many? I know you maybe even had to. You are a aficionado of, but I'm sure you had to look that up, but I don't care. That's awesome that you did that for me right there. What year though? Did I miss it? Did I miss it, Robot? Like I said, I think they probably closed that track down in 2000 or earlier. Damon says, hey, Indiana money line. And let's see here. 1995. Thank you, Robot. Wow. I remember that track. I remember betting that track, certainly. Okay, I guess I got to make my call, though, here with Nebraska and Indiana. Man, you guys are really liking that over move there today. Right now, and I don't know, for me here in this one, I gotta try Nebraska, of course. I mean, come on, they're undefeated. Kind of saw the same scenario yesterday, right, with Toledo and Miami of Ohio. I don't want to compare it too much, but Miami of Ohio got that win. They were the undefeated road team, and like I said, I think for me, just the fact that Nebraska's played Indiana well over the last 2 or 3 years, pretty good. Okay, let's go.
Play.
Some steam though, real quick. Let's get some steam in here. Lemoyne, the Lemoyne taking some steam here in this game on the added board here today. Let's talk Lemoyne basketball on an early start here. Lemoyne is taking the steam here right now in this one, top of the extra board. There's a pick 'em, but they're favored by 1.5 or maybe even 2 here. Lemoyne taking the steam against Central Connecticut. All right, man, we got to go through all these games here right now. Also, we just had another moments ago here real quick with Marshall and Georgia State. Some steam to the over here. It was 150.5. We're up to 152 right now with Marshall and Georgia State. Steam to the over there in that one. All right, next up, we've got Kansas taking on West Virginia. College basketball action here on Saturday with KU on the road here in Morgantown, favored by 3.5 right now. The total is up to 137.5. Maybe they've taken that hook off there as well. There we go. I think we got a reissued line there, kind of. And you got KU here on the road. They are ranked 22nd, 11-4. I think I had the total wrong there. Nope, that is right? 137.5. Yeah, 137.5. Okay, so Kansas comes in here off of a win over TCU. Of course, it was a big overtime game, 104-100. KU did get the win in that one. West Virginia got a win over Cincinnati last time out. Both teams been pretty decent here, especially KU, 9-6 ATS, 7-3 ATS as a favorite, but you're on the road here in Morgantown. West Virginia 2-1 against the spread as an underdog so far this season. Kansas has gone 12-6 in their last 18 meetings with West Virginia. 12-6 ATS in their last 18 meetings with West Virginia. West Virginia's looking great at home so far, 10-0. Meanwhile, Kansas has lost 2 games already on the true road so far this season. They lost to Central Florida. We had Central Florida in that game. They did beat NC State in a non-conference game here back in mid-December as a 2.5-point dog. But let's see what you got here. 4 of the last 5 meetings between these two teams have gone under. I want to hear from you in the chat with this one. Kansas taking on West Virginia here in this one. Come on, I got to take the Mountaineers here at home. Give me the Mountaineers plus the points against KU here. We went with, look, I liked Central Florida last week. I like them a little bit more than I do with West Virginia here, I think, at this point. But I think for me, that's going to be the call here in this one. I'm going to take West Virginia at home against Kansas, plus the points. See what you got in the chat, if anything here. Andrew, he has his own red and white striped pants, I think, that he wears around the house. Twisted, thank you, Twisted. He's coming back with more. Oh, I think we already showed those, I think, Twisted there a little bit, unless there was some different. I saw Providence in there before, right? Okay, thank you, though. Great job. And Robot Glock says West Virginia and the points have been playing Kansas a little tough. Greg in there, I think he likes West Virginia here, plus points. Greg says West Virginia beat Pittsburgh by 20 points already this season. And Robert here liking West Virginia. And Blake says West Virginia money line, and so does Greg. I'll take West Virginia with you guys. Sticking with a couple of these noon games here right now. I'm not going to have a package to come out with any noontime starts. And if I had two premiums here, but you have VCU taking on George Mason here. Virginia Commonwealth had their winning streak snapped last time out, but they've been hot. They did lose to St. Louis. They come in 11-5. George Mason, of course, one of the hottest teams in the country right now with a 15-1 record coming in. So I thought we'd talk about Mason here because, whoops, where's the graphic? Because they're an underdog in this game. So 15-1, George Mason, an underdog here at home against VCU. Just one of those things again here, I guess. In fact, we're showing VCU up to a 2-point favorite here right now in this one. So all right. Obinia Okafor is out of this game for Virginia. Oh, man, why does this graphic keep coming off? There we go. George Mason so far, 15-1, just 8-1 against the spread. VCU is 4-0 against the spread on the road so far this season. It could be something you could consider here, but again, you got a team right now in George Mason that is undefeated. I know the Sharps are going to be on Virginia Commonwealth here, and hey, good on them. Maybe they will get it done here and knock off this hot George Mason team. You know, George Mason wasn't actually covering very many spreads. I mentioned they're only 8-7 against the spread overall, but still they are just 2-5 against the spread in their last 7 games. Also, George Mason is 0-7 straight up at home in their last 7 games against Virginia Commonwealth. Basically, the Commonwealth has owned this series. The teams did not meet here last season, but they did meet in the conference tournament last year, and it was 68-63. VCU got the win as a 7.5-point favorite. Mason did cover, but VCU won the home game in the regular season 70-54 as a 10.5-point favorite. In that one, VCU's covered the spread in 4 of the last 6 meetings between the two teams. So you have the obvious dominance of VCU, but you have the 15-1 of George Mason. How do you guys see it today? Look, Mason is a pretty good defensive team. They're top 30 in defensive scoring here, but VCU, pretty good offense for sure. Decent offense for sure. Good 3-point shooting team, top 40 3-point shooting team this season. So good game here. And this feels like the NBC Sports Network game of the day or something. Let's see what you got. Here we go. Mason money line here for Blake. And Greg says he took VCU the other day and it didn't work out. Robert McCormick on the over here in this one. And that might be it. That might be it for you guys here. I'm one of those, I can't pass on this George Mason team right now. I know I'm taking some obvious ones here with these records here. It just feels like I want teams that win. Is that so much to ask? Give me Mason here in this one.
Final.
Let's go to the next block of games now at 1 Eastern and 10 Pacific with the Houston Cougars on the road taking on the Baylor Bears. Pretty good one here in the 1 o'clock hour Eastern and 10 Pacific. Michigan does play in this block, but they're a 17.5 point favorite against Wisconsin there in that one. So I do want to look at this matchup here with the Cougars ranked 7th. They come in 14-1. They're on a winning streak here right now are the Houston Cougars. Meanwhile, for Baylor, they've lost 2 straight right now coming into this one. A little hiccup here for the Bears. The Bears do come in 10-4 overall, but they have consecutive losses to TCU and to Iowa State. Here right now. Houston's gone under in 4 of their last 6. They're 5-2 against the spread in their last 7 games overall. They're also 5-2 in their last 7 meetings with the Baylor Bears. The 2 teams did meet last March, and it was 65-61. Houston got the win and did not cover by a half a point there in that one. They also met in a regular season matchup in February, or I think that was the other matchup there. In February, Houston won at 76-65 as a 9.5 point favorite in that one. So see what you have here in this one with Houston and Baylor. Baylor's look pretty good at home so far this season. They're 8-1 straight up. They are 0-3 so far as an underdog. Houston has a favorite this season, just 3-7 against the spread. But mentioned Baylor, 3 losses as an underdog. They failed to cover the spread in each one of those games. Baylor's gone over in 8 of their last 11 games overall. They are 9-4 to the over so far this season. Houston's 3-1 to the over on the road. Give me the over in this one between Houston and Baylor today here on the Morning Steam. We just heard some steam come in just moments ago. It was Austin P. Good. Let's go, P. They're taking the steam right now. And Austin P was a 8-point favorite. They just took the steam on the road against Stetson. They're up to a 9.5 point favorite right now with Austin P. Let's go, P. Let's get your comments in the chat on the Houston and Baylor game. Twisted says, want to be on Baylor. We're going to stay away from this one. Baylor looked good against Iowa State despite that loss. Baylor here. Iowa State did cover that game. That was 70-60. Blake is on Baylor. Greg says 74-70. Art Thompson's on Houston here. Robert McCormick says go over in this one. And Robot Glock, Houston in the first half. All right. Hey, I better make my call here in this one between Houston and Baylor today. We all think that Houston is pretty much a team that can roll here, feels like a little bit, but I'll still stick to the over right now in this one. Hello to Noli. He's got us a play. App State there. And got me roll. It can't be Central Connecticut, right? Noli, help me out here. Let me find this one. Noli, help me. It's not Central Connecticut. CCU. What am I doing here? Noli, yeah, Coastal. Thank you, Noli. Yeah, that steam came in on the under there in that game, and Noli says go under in this one. Noli knows, blessing us here with that chat. We did mention that steam here on the air just a short time ago, and that was probably Noli moving the line there. App State and Coastal Carolina at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 Pacific here. Thank you to Noli. All right. And then we move on here to the next one. We're going to knock these out and go with St. John's and Creighton here. Now I know we're in the Big East. Here in this one with St. John's and Creighton, a closely rated matchup at 2 Eastern and 11 Pacific in this one with the Johnnies, an underdog here against the Blue Jays in this one. Let's hear from you in the chat if you like this matchup. Today for St. John's, they come in here with a 10-5 record. They've won 3 of their last 4. Creighton's been pretty hot as well. They come in off of a win. They've been winning some games here. They just beat Villanova 76-72 as a road underdog here. They've been covering some numbers as the Blue Jays. Meanwhile, for St. John's, they come in off of a 14-point win and cover over Butler on the road last time out, but they did lose to Providence before that. St. John's does come in here having covered just 3 of their last 10 games overall, but they are 1-0 ATS as an underdog. Here they did lose to KU 78-66. Meanwhile, for Creighton here, they are 7-3 ATS in their last 10. They covered against Seton Hall despite having their winning streak snapped a couple of games back. They beat Baylor but failed to cover at home. They beat up on Utah Tech. They also have a win here over Marquette, talking about the Creighton Blue Jays. So let's hear from you in the chat in this one, with Creighton here as a favorite right now. Let's see here, 1.5, and this total is way down from that number you see on screen here right now. I need to update that. It is all the way down to 152, and makes perfect sense. I mean, 156 was going to be too high. It was 156, right? I didn't type it in wrong. Yeah, 155.5 opener at Stations in South Point, so I probably had some line out there with 156. But look, we're at 152.5 here, it looks like right now. And look, if you look at these two teams, I mean, you'd think probably under, right? The two teams are combined 11-20 to the under so far this season. Creighton's 3-7 to the under at home. St. John's has gone under in 8 of their last 10 games overall right now. Now, the one time that St. John's was an underdog, they did go over, and that was, I don't know if I have it, but let's see what you guys have here in this one. We got to keep it moving here right now and get your play in this one between St. John's and Creighton. St. John's, just as I mentioned, struggling here of late. They're also 3-8 straight up in their last 11 games against Creighton. Creighton comes in having won 5 of their last 6. 4 of the last 6 meetings between the two teams have gone under. I got to take Creighton on the Creighton at home here against St. John's in this one. That under does look pretty good, but man, you're already missing out. Maybe missing out on some points. Probably they brought it in a little bit too high, but the two teams met couple of times, 3 times last season. St. John's won twice. It did go over in the last 2 meetings, including the postseason meeting. St. John's won the Big East tournament game 82-66 as a 6.5 point favorite. The home teams won the games before that, and the home teams also won back in the 23-24 season as well. And just moments ago, Baylor just took the steam against Houston just seconds ago. Baylor was that 3.5 point favorite. This is official. This is a steam play right now on Baylor. Just sent out, because right now we're seeing Bet Online has moved this game to 2. Baylor just took the steam in that game against Houston today. If you like Houston, just wait another minute or two, or wait a few minutes, because you're getting a discount here tonight. Okay, good play in this one. I'm going to take Creighton. And, oh, hey, you guys have some comments on this one. And Nunez says, screw this conference. Greg says Creighton here. Blake is on Creighton as well. A lot of Creighton here. Bobby Mack on Creighton. And Nunez going under. R. Thompson's going under. Creighton will be ready for the challenge, says Greg, and Robert agrees. All right, here we go. Next up. That's the Georgia Bulldogs taking on South Carolina Gamecocks, and a good one here. Georgia on the road, a 4-point favorite against the Cocks. In this one, you've got total here. Total here is up to 164.5, it feels like right now. There we go. Better update that. I'm going to call it 4 and 164. I'm seeing some 4.5s out there as well with Georgia here in this matchup. So yeah, a little bit of a move here for sure, but also move on the total there. It looks like with these two teams, Georgia's ranked 18th. They come in 13-2. Did have their winning streak snapped last time out with their second loss of the season, as Florida was able to knock them off 92-77. Florida was a pretty big favorite there by 9.5. I took Georgia in that game, but Florida did spank them. South Carolina, meanwhile, comes in off of a road win at LSU as a 7.5-point favorite, 78-66. UGA is just 3-7 ATS in their last 10. South Carolina is 3-2 ATS as an underdog so far. South Carolina 9-2 straight up at home. Georgia 1-1 straight up on the true road. These two teams are combined 18-12 to the over so far this season, although UGA on the road just 1-2 to the under so far this year. Let's go to the chat and hear what you might have to say in this one between the Bulldogs and the Gamecocks here on Saturday. Great to have you joining me here on the Morning Steam Show. We're having a good time, and we're hopefully going to get out of here in the next 30 minutes. I'll probably have to roll off those hockey games pretty quick, because I do want to cover a lot of great college basketball. You know, the reason we do is so that when we get to the postseason, a lot of people are going to come in right in March Madness and think they know, but you guys have been here with me all season long. Georgia's on 7-1 straight up in their last 8. They failed to cover in 5 straight. Georgia is just 4-12 ATS in the last 16 games against the Gamecocks. Gamecocks have long owned the series, but Georgia's won and covered both of the last 2 meetings, including last March. Georgia won it by 9 as a 1.5-point favorite, and back in January, Georgia won at home 71-60 as a 7.5-point favorite. So yeah, before that it was 2-12 against the spread. South Carolina and Georgia have gone under in 4 of their last 5 meetings. South Carolina has actually won 7 of the last 9 meetings between these two teams. We just mentioned one of them here that Georgia won at home, and it was 7 in a row. Georgia's won the last 2 meetings, I believe, here at South Carolina, but hey, still you got the Cox coming in here 10-5, having won 3 of their last 5 games. And like I said, Georgia was on a winning streak before losing that game to Florida. Maybe I'm just a little bit tilty right now with the Bulldogs here, but let's see what you guys have in this one. Maybe we'll get your plays here as we keep it rolling with the Georgia and South Carolina here. This one's definitely gone up a little bit from open, I think 162.5 here up to 164. And yeah, the totals, like I said, the two teams are kind of over teams for sure right now. So all right, look, I think Georgia as a favorite. That's gonna be tough. I'm gonna take the over in this one. Give me the over here. I'm a little worried. I like a good home dog, and I might like this one too, but I don't know. Georgia might be onto something here, having beat them in the last 2 times. All right, hey, breaking news here right now with that early game in the NBA. Julius Randle is upgraded to probable. Randle will play today against Cleveland. We also saw some steam between Pine Bluff and Texas Southern on the extra board here. Steam in this one to the under. It was 164.5. We're seeing it go down here to 163. Steam to the under, Pine Bluff and Texas Southern. Man, this is a great show today. So much better when I'm awake. All right. Blake is on Georgia here. Greg says Georgia will bounce back from that Florida game. I'm a game too late. Our Tom's on the over. South Carolina looked bad last game. Greg said he did not like their performance against LSU when they won by 7 as 7.5-point underdogs. He said that was not a good performance. I don't know, Greg. I think you were a 7.5-point dog and you win on the road. I think that's pretty good. I don't know. Maybe I didn't see much of the game there. Robert likes the under here. And Greg says Florida took Georgia down last game. Yeah, they did. Man, I lost that thing. All right, let's keep it moving here. Like I said, we got a lot of games to go still. Arizona and TCU here in this one with Arizona on the road. Here, we already talked about the steam that came in this one on TCU here. So that's stale line on screen. We got to update that. See what it is here currently and how much it moved since we announced that. I'm showing 6.5 here at DraftKings right now, but it looks like mostly sevens still. It looks like mostly back to seven here. Pretty much everywhere. 6.5 at stations, 6.5 at DraftKings, total 154.5, 155. So let's take a look here at this one between the Wildcats and the Frogs. Here, this one's at 4 p.m. Eastern and 1 Pacific time here today. So let's see what you guys think in this one. And a pretty good matchup here with the number one team in the country. Let's see how they fare today when they have to lay a touchdown on the road here against TCU. Comes in 11-4. Right now, they did lose last game. TCU was on a winning streak, but lost to KU in that overtime game. Arizona, meanwhile, with back-to-back conference covers over Utah and Kansas State. Arizona's 5-0 against the spread at home on the road so far this season, but TCU is 4-0 against the spread as an underdog, and they just took the steam after all. Is today the day for TCU to get this upset of Arizona here? Anybody going to do it and take these points? After all, you're getting a big 6 against a team that's covered every game at home, every game they've been an underdog so far this season. TCU is 6-6 against the spread at home so far, but again, really is a favorite in a lot of those games. So see what you got here in this one. TCU taking on U of A. I'll go to the chat, see what you guys have here. Arizona is 8-2 to the over in their last 10 games overall, although TCU is 4-8 to the under at home so far this season. Let's hear from you in the chat, this matchup, and I'll go see what you guys got. All right. Robert Dixon's made it today. He's on TCU plus the points. Greg says overrated. LSU's overrated, I think, there. Blake is on TCU. Twisted going to lay it, though, with Arizona. I think Greg's on TCU. R. Thompson is on TCU. Seth, though, I think says Arizona here. Robert's on the over in this one. Greg says Arizona won't cover it. He says that maybe getting enough points at home here with TCU in this one. Okay, I guess got to make my call here. What kind of mixed bag there felt like in the chat here, but this total has gone up. I think pretty dramatically. I saw it open as low as 150.5 here right now, and I don't know if I got this one under. Give me the under with Arizona and TCU. All right, let's keep it moving here with some great college basketball action. We already mentioned the steam that came in here, right, with this one. Oh, did I go out of order here, you guys? If I went out of order, it's gonna cause a 10-second delay. Clemson and Notre Dame here in this one. Yeah, okay. No, we're fine. We are fine, right? Clemson and Notre Dame. This is 6 Eastern and 3 Pacific. Thank you. Just too many games. I got to skip too many time slots, I think, is what it is. But hey, good luck to you guys today on some of these great games. And like I said, you can catch me on that other show previewing even a few more games if you'd like. And I'll have a package. I'll have 2 packages, I think, coming out today. Probably as many. Sign up and subscribe. I'm going to have probably 2 7-packs of games today, I'm pretty sure. Clemson comes in here red hot. They are on a winning streak here currently. And right now they come in with a record of 13-3. They're also 5-1 against the spread on the road, 7-7 against the spread as a favorite. Notre Dame comes in 10-5, 7-1 straight up at home. They're 2-4 though, straight up as an underdog here this season are the Notre Dame. Fighting Irish. This one at 6 p.m. Eastern and 3 Pacific time. Clemson on the road here. Not a terrible spot here necessarily for these guys, but still laying a number on the road where Notre Dame is 5-1 against the spread as an underdog so far this season. Yeah, Clemson's covered some numbers on the road, but just 500 as a favorite. I know we get caught up in some of these, favorites, the better teams, but man, I usually just come in and, just end up taking the dog here in some of these games. Now, the steam did come in on the under while we were on the air here. It went from 135 down to 133. And right now, I think that's currently still where it is. 3, though. Clemson is up to 3 and 133.5 here, maybe. There we go. Do a little bit of maintenance right there. There we go. All right. And so, I don't know, Notre Dame, that's a pretty good record as an underdog, and now we're getting 3 points here in this one. Man, I don't know. I think taking the points might be where it's at. I know there's plenty of sharps going to be on Clemson here. And that total, I'd have a chance. No. Notre Dame is 5-4 to the over at home. Clemson's 4-2 to the over on the road, but Notre Dame's 2-4 to the under as a favorite. I'm going to take Notre Dame here in this one. Give me Notre Dame against Clemson. I'll take them plus 3 points. Not much from the chat on this one, but thank you, Greg. He says he's got it right there. He's got it under. Fernando's on Clemson. Art Thompson's on Clemson. I just went against my chat before I looked. All right. A few more here real quick. I got 2 more. Texas Tech taking on Colorado here. A good game, man. 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 Pacific. And, yeah, we've seen some good things here. Texas Tech coming in here 11-4, ranked 14th. But you know what happened? They lost that game to Houston the other night, 69-65. But Texas Tech did cover. Colorado, meanwhile, coming in here 12-3, they've won 2 straight, including that impressive win against Utah at home by 12, laying 9.5. They also beat ASU on the road, but remember they had that awkward loss to Northern Colorado, the Bears with that big win. Colorado is 3-1 against the spread as an underdog. Texas Tech just 4-6 against the spread as a favorite. The 2 teams met last year. Texas Tech won 91-75, but did not cover 18.5. Imagine that. Now we're all the way down to 6 here right now with Texas Tech on the road. Colorado's had their moments here for sure this season. I mean, they're not terrible here. They are just 6-6 ATS at home, however. Let's see if you have anything here on this one at 4 p.m. Eastern. I'm sorry, 7 p.m. Eastern and 4 p.m. Pacific time in this matchup with Texas Tech and Colorado. We'll go to the chat and see what you guys have here. Just 2 more games, and then we're going to do some hockey quickly, and then we'll get out of here. But let me see how you guys have this one. Texas Tech is 4-1 ATS in their last 5. They won 4 of their last 5 coming in. Texas Tech just 1-4 ATS last 5 games against Colorado, but only 1 was a recent matchup, if I'm not mistaken. 9 of the last 13 have gone over here between these 2. I think did they not play? Is that what it is? Not play 2 years ago? I think that might be it. So my numbers might be a little bit behind. Colorado here is 9-1. Here at home this season. Texas Tech is 0-2 on the road so far on the true road. Of course, they did lose to Houston this season. They also, remember, beat Duke in a neutral. So let's see what you got here. Texas Tech, Colorado, and we'll go to the chat, see what you have. It's going to be Twisted on the Fighting Irish in that game. Thank you. Greg says Texas Tech. Then we got, I think the chat is running out of steam with some of these games here right now. I know I've been going a little bit quick here, but we got all these games going. All these games going here, right? So, all right, Texas Tech and Colorado, about to make my call here in this one between the Red Raiders and the Buffaloes. Give me the Buffaloes at home. Man, I just can't help taking all these points here today. All right, one more here in the colleges. We'll take a look at a night game here between Utah State and Boise State, a big one in the Mountain West with Utah State on the road. They're currently tied for first place with my San Diego State Aztecs here, but it's always tough to go here into Fresno and take on a tough Bulldogs team occasionally here, but let's see how you have it. This one is at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific time here in this one with Utah State coming in 13-1, Boise's 9-6. Utah State coming in off of a win and cover over Air Force. They covered 22. They are 5-2 against the spread on the road so far this season, 7-5 against the spread as a favorite. Boise State, however, they are 4-1 against the spread as a dog, but they're only getting just a few points here in this one. And they are 2-3 straight up as an underdog. They're 6-2 straight up at home, 8-5-1 against the spread overall in this one. I think Utah State's the better team here. I'm going to take Utah State here in this one. Lay 2 points on the road over Boise State. All right, Greg's with me in that one for sure. Greg likes Boise State at home. I hope you're right. Hope you are right, Greg, because, well, I want to win this bet. But Boise State here for Blake as well. But, like I said, at the top of the Mountain West standings right now, you got San Diego State and Boise State, and Utah State. And there's no doubt, I mean, this is where these two teams are going to battle it out to the wire here this season in the Mountain West. It does feel like here. With my Aztecs. Okay, it's going to do it there for the colleges. Now let's go to the ice, and we'll be quick on this one. Probably just give out the plays and then get on out of here. Probably not a lot of breakdown, but we do have a great card, big, huge card here today. Hey, I was on another show earlier. You want to see if you maybe extended breakdowns. Maybe we can go check that out. I'll still try to do a good job here with these today. It's just such a huge card, 14 or 15 games going on right now. And we want to be out of here and get ready for the big college action coming up here at the top of the hour. So let's roll through the games here right now with Rangers on the road taking on Boston. Hey, we know what's all about here. If the Rangers are on the road, we're usually on them. This is where they've done their best work. Definitely note here, though, I mean, the Rangers are having a rugged time of it at this point. They're down there in 5th place. Meanwhile, Boston, what has happened here a little bit to Boston, too? Both teams are in 5th place in their respective divisions right now. At least Boston has won 3 of their last 4 games coming in. I'm showing Quickie in there against Swayman here in this one. So we saw Igor is obviously going to miss some time here right now with that awkward injury that happened here recently. So we know he hit the injured list. So we're going to get a lot of Quickie in here. Get a little Quickie in here. I got to go over in this one with Quick. I don't think there's any value here right now. I see the total 6/15. I think it's actually gone.
Final.
No, it's still 6/15 here. I'm going to take the over in this one between the Rangers and the Bruins with Quick in there today against Swayman here in this one. Rangers have been an under team for sure this season, but that's mostly with Igor. Boston's 24-20, the over, 12-10, the over at home. Teams met back in November, and the Rangers won this one. Won it 6-2 at Boston. Hey, the Clippers just got steamed a moment ago in their game. We've already talked NBA here tonight, but we just saw the Clippers get steamed moments ago in their matchup with Detroit. They were getting 5.5. We talked about it. It's down to 4.5 here right now. The Clippers took the steam. I was on Detroit, and maybe I can get that better price now when I get off the air here. All right. You keep the comments coming. We'll try to just pop them up there a little bit and see what you guys have here in these. But thank you very much, and we're going to kind of be moving them quite quickly, so might not read them off. But Here we go with the Flames taking on the Pens here in this one. The Pens have been hot, and the Flames not. Flames have lost 4 in a row. They're 6-15 on the road right now. Maybe this would be a good spot here for the Penguins to maybe roll these guys a little bit. You could get some pretty good money on the puck line here. Maybe this is a game where Calgary can turn around. You got Silovs in there right now for the Penguins, and they are favored here, $1.50 or so total. 6 over 20 or 6.5 under at -115. But look, I think this one's probably an over for me. You've got a Calgary team that definitely can produce some overs here right now. You look at the Flames here. So far this month there have been some overs, but 4 of the last 5 meetings between these two teams have gone over. They did meet just a couple times a year. Calgary did go under in their last 2 losses to Boston and Montreal because they could not score, but they went over against Seattle in a loss, over against Nashville in a loss. I'm going to take the over on this one. Calgary's 26-18 to the over this season, 14-9 to the over on the road. I'm going over with Calgary and Pittsburgh. All right. Thank you to the chat here. Let's go next up. Will be
lineup.
The Dallas Stars on the road taking on the Sharks. You got Ottinger here. Dallas finally got a win after a losing streak. What was going on there? They beat Washington on the road 4-1. They were on a slump. Meanwhile, the Sharks, what can you say about these Sharks? They've been absolutely terrific right now, and why wouldn't you want to get involved with these guys the way Dallas has kind of struggled? Now, don't look at the series history if you want to take the Sharks, because Dallas has won 8 straight meetings between the two teams. 8 of the last 11 meetings between the two teams have gone over. San Jose's gone over in 7 of their last 8 games. Taking the Sharks on the puck line might be attractive, but the price is still going to be expensive at $1.70 here. It's probably equatable, but I'm going to take the Sharks to win this game. Come on, Sharks. Celebrini been awesome. Dallas owns these guys. I understand that, but I'm going to have to take them here. I'm going to take Dallas in this. I'm sorry. I'm taking Sharks. Skarov is, let's see, he needs an H in his name, and then you could have one of those, what are they called when the same letters appear in the name? And if you had an H in there, you could have Shark Skarov. All right, shouldn't be wasting time with stupid things like that when we got so many games to cover. Let's go to the chat. We've got Fernando took the Penguins in that other game. Timothy on the over, I think is it this one? 9 Legacy Stars, though. Greg's on the Stars. Fernando's on the overs. And, is it 9.5? I'm going to go under. Okay, let me fix it here. 6.5. I was upside down when I typed that in. Yeah. Okay, there we go. 6.5. Look, there may be 10 goals in this game actually tonight, if you know what I mean. Blue Jackets and Avalanche here in this one. And, the Blue Jackets, 18-7 right now, but they have lost 3 in a row. Colorado's lost 2 of their last 3, but they're still 18-0 at home right now. So, Colorado's 11-2 overall in their last 13. They've gone over in 14 of the last 20 games against Columbus. Coming into this one, Columbus is still 8-20 straight up as a dog, but hey, getting a nice price if you think they can hang in there. I mean, Colorado's obviously showing a little bit of weakness here, but man, it does feel like if they might get blown out in a game, could this be it? Here in this one, and look what I have up there, 7 under 20. This is really the first game I think this season where 7 has been the predominant number across the board. We always say it's 6.5, whatever it is, but there's always going to be that the book will always have that default that most books will be on. To me, I'm showing a majority of the books, or at least 50% of the books, showing 7 under here at this point. So if it says anything, I mean, look, Colorado is not an over team. They're actually 19-24 to the under this season. Now Columbus is 23-20 to the over, 13-10 to the over. But look, like I said, technically, I think if you look at it honestly, you don't really see a lot of Colorado games going over here. Now, maybe that's what this one does reek of here, that, Colorado's been so good. They're going to blow them out. I'm sure Colorado – look, I'm the first to try to come in on some of these dogs. I think this is going to be too tough for Columbus today to even get that money. But I'm going to go under here in this one at 7 under 20. I'm sure maybe it'll be 6-2 or something like that, but I'm going to try the under with Columbus and Colorado. And if it's 6.5, you could grade me on that. That's fine. All right. Let's see here. Greg, maybe 6-4. Hello to Jimmy again. There's a 5-2 Colorado for Greg. Next up. I feel like you guys do me a favor and not comment on when we're going fast. I don't know. Really appreciate it. Lightning here and Philly. Good game tonight. Lightning on the road here. Man, I think they're about $1.70 right now, and the total here is 6 under 20. So, yeah, Lightning probably in a pretty good position. I mean, how hot can you be right now? This Tampa Bay team doing so well. Hey, Philadelphia has been pretty terrific too. This is one of the games of the night for sure, I would say right now, with the way Philly's going here as well. But Tampa Bay's won 8 in a row. They've also won 15 of the last 20 meetings between the two teams overall. I think this is the one that Tampa Bay will get them and keep this roll going. Really, you got to be pleased with Philadelphia here right now. They've done a pretty nice job here, 12-5 straight up at home. Tampa Bay 14-14 on the road. Tampa 19-14 to the over as a favorite. Philly 17-10 to the over as a dog, and 5 of the last 6 meetings here between the two have gone over here. But I gotta like Tampa here in this one. I'll take a -1 today. Give me Tampa Bay -1. Really probably should take him on the money line so we get a win here. It's Saturday. I'm going to take Tampa here as a favorite here in this one. Give them to me. I'm going to take Tampa -$1.70 in this one. And Timothy is taking a -1. I think we'll do a little 50-50 on there a little bit. We're going quickly, though, here right now. Let's go to the Ducks and the Sabres here tonight. And you got the Sabres. Oh, man. The 4 Ducks right now. Maybe this will be the one that they'll finally get through a little bit. But I know right now that the Sabres, yeah, they lost one here, but who cares? They're still the hottest thing going, right? They're 23-15-4 on a big-time rush here. They've actually won 2 straight after that loss. Anaheim, big-time slump here right now after all those great performances. They've lost 8 in a row. Buffalo's won 5 straight at home and 12 of their last 13 games coming into this one. They're still just a modest favorite here. $1.60 or so right now. Total is another high one here, 6.5 over 20 for the most part. Not seeing any 7s here, but I think if you look at these two, Anaheim, we know they're the 30-14, the biggest over team going right now. And Buffalo, they are 10-8 to the over as a favorite. I think Buffalo here is going to be putting up some goals on Anaheim today. Anaheim in this big slump right now. They've lost these last 4 games, 5-2, 5-2, 7-4, 5-2. Buffalo, meanwhile, back-to-back 5-goal games. Give me the over here in this one with Buffalo and Anaheim. All right. I'll keep it going. Thank you for that update there.
Steam play.
With that Philadelphia and Lightning game, he says Urson's confirmed for Philly in that game. Thank you, Philly Eagle Flyer. Nice to see you today. Greg there on Buffalo. We're not going to be double-checking any goalies here on this show. Here's some steam right now in that early NBA game. We already mentioned the total, but there's steam coming in right now on the Minnesota Timberwolves. We talked about them as a 4-point dog, then a 3.5-point dog. Now they're down, it looks like, to 2.5. The steam has come in here on Minnesota on the Morning Steam Show. All right, we're going quickly here right now with next up, Vancouver and Toronto here in this one. Vancouver on the road, 16-22-5. Toronto comes in 21-15-7. Vancouver's been struggling right now big time here of late. And Toronto still in a great group here, 15-5 at home right now. They've won 2 in a row. They've been pretty much crushing here at this. So, yeah, there is a thought that maybe this could be a spot, and the spot to me says Vancouver, but I can't do it right now. I got to take the Leafs here in this one. I'm going to lay a $1.50. Give me Toronto here tonight in this one at -1.5 at +140. I'm taking the Leafs to blow out the Canucks here tonight. And thank you, guys. We're going quickly here, guys. Red Wings taking on the Habs here in this one with the Canadians favored at home, about $1.40 here maybe. Total 6 over at -120 here in this one. Showing maybe Gibson and Fowler here going here in this one tonight. I know the Sharps are going to be taking the under in this one, but I don't want the under. Not with what we've seen so far with these two teams here, it feels like, of late. Both teams coming in with winning streaks. Montreal's won 3 in a row. Detroit's won 2 in a row. Montreal still 27-17 to the over here this season, and that's where I want to go with these two. I want to go over here tonight with Detroit and Montreal. Detroit's gone over in 4 of their last 5 on the road. Montreal's gone over in 6 of their last 9. I have the over here in this one. Next up, with the Kraken taking on the Hurricanes. Seattle 20-14-8, Carolina 27-14-3. The Kraken were hot. They finally lost, but they're still smoking here. They lost to Minnesota. It was a great game, 3-2 in overtime. Last time out, Carolina, meanwhile, has won 3 in a row right now. Been looking pretty good. Huge favorite here for Carolina, but Seattle's been playing well. I know Bussey has an incredible record, but the way the Seattle's playing, man, you got to think they can hang here in this one. And at -$1.05, I got to take them on the puck line here. Give me Seattle +1.5 at -$1.05 or $1.10 here in this one. All right. Keep it rolling here right now with the next game in the NHL tonight with the Panthers taking on the Sens here in this one. You got the Senators, small favorite at home, it looks like, with Marylainen going up against Bobrovsky here in this one. Look, I think it's probably a pretty good spot for Ottawa here. Florida's been looking great, no doubt about it, but Ottawa still decent record here. Both teams kind of slumping. Ottawa's lost 3 in a row, but Florida's lost a couple in a row here as well. In fact, they've lost 4 out of their last 5. Now, they have won 11 of the last 14 in this series. 6 of the last 8 meetings between these two teams have gone under. You got Bobrovsky and Marylainen in here in this one. I got to take the over in this one with the Panthers and the Senators here. I think if you look long term this season between with these two teams, man, you got to think over, don't you? They're a combined 50-36 to the over. Ottawa 19-12 to the over as a favorite, and they are a favorite here in this one. All right. Thanks, you guys, for putting up with me here. We're almost done. Want to get you out of here. Blackhawks and Preds here tonight in this one. You got the Blackhawks on the road here. Look at the Predators, $2 favorite. What are you talking about, as Razor would say? Chicago's been hot coming in. Yeah, they lost last game here right now to Washington. I was on Chicago, and maybe I'll go down with them again here, but maybe I can look to the total in this one with the Predators. $2 favorite? Come on. I've been on the Predators a lot, but I'm not doing it this time. Here, give me the over in this one with Chicago and Nashville here tonight. I'm taking the over with these two. They met back in November. Nashville won 4-3. Also, Nashville 7-5 to the over as a favorite, 12-10 to the over at home. Give me the over here in this one with Chicago and Nashville right now. I will say this: Chicago is just 1-10 in the last 11 games when playing on the road against Nashville. That should be taken into consideration, but I'm going to try probably the dog here on the puck line. Islanders on the road taking on the Wild here. Wild only $1.70 or so. Maybe it's even going down. Minnesota's lost 2 of 3. The Islanders have won 2 of 3 coming into this one, but you got Sorokin and Gus here with these two. So look, I think everyone's going to be screaming under in this game, but I'm actually going over in this matchup with the Islanders and the Wild. Give me the over. I don't think I can read in many trends here that are going to point to the over. In fact, the Islanders are 7-13 to the under on the road, but I'm going over with the Islanders and the Wild. Kings and Oilers here tonight. We've got the Kings on the road here with the Oilers $1.80 and the total 6.5 here with these two. The Kings have been looking so bad. I figure they'll probably get out to a big lead and the Oilers come back and win this game and probably cover the puck line between these two. And that's what I'm going to take tonight. Give me the puck line on the Oilers here in this one to blow out my Kings. Finally, it's going to be the Bruins and the Golden Knights in the finale here in this one. And it looks like Binnington going up against Schmid here with these two. And, it's not a bad spot here for Vegas. Might want to trust them here right now against St. Louis in this series anyway. You look long-term, Vegas 5-2 in the last 7 meetings against St. Louis. It's just that Vegas has lost 8 of their last 11 here right now, so they might be a little bit tough to trust, but the Blues aren't in that great of form either right now. But, Golden Knights ain't blowing anybody out. Give me the Blues on the puck line here tonight. In this one, the Blues are minus $1.25 on the puck line, and I will take that here, plus 1.5. One more steam play, and then 2 more steam plays, and we're out of here. UC Davis, Cal Poly to go over here in this one on a steam move here just right now. It was 165, and we're up to 169. Huge move today. Davis and Cal Poly up to 169. Colgate has taken some steam here right now. Last minute, Colgate taking the steam here against Lehigh. They were a 10-point favorite. They're up to 11.5 right now. Colgate taking the steam against Lehigh. One more, William and Mary and Drexel. Steam to the over here in this one with Bill and Mary and Drexel. It was 150, but now we're up to, it was 149. We're up to 151.5 right now with William and Mary and Drexel. And let's wrap up the show. We're not going to do a drawing here. In fact, if you want to, we're going to do a promo code here right now. Over at winnable.com, since we're not going to have the drawing and we want to get out of here. So, hey, go over to winnable.com/Ramon to get more picks from me. We're going to have a promo code today for everyone to get a free week of service, a free week of subscriptions. How's that? How about we do that, since I was going so crazy here right now? In fact, use the let me see here. Use the promo code. I think I got it here. See here right now. Oh, it was Xmas. Oh, great. Let me see. I'm going to change it here real quick.
Lineup. Critical notice.
Okay, we're going to go with it. Use the promo code Xmas to get 7 free days. I didn't change it. So Merry Christmas. No drawing today. Use the promo code Xmas to get 7 free days. That's going to do it for the Morning Steam. Really appreciate it. Enjoy the games today. We'll be back tomorrow with more Morning Steam, with more football.
Cover, that's gonna cover, that's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice, we might play a parlay. It's the Morning Steam. Ramon